Hey everybody, welcome to Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
This is a show where we take comics of the past week, recap them, review them, let me know what you thought about them, and then give you recommendations of books that are coming out this week we think you should pick up.
You got me.
I did.
I didn't even know.
I mean, you knew we were live.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yes, you did. You saw it. You were looking right at it.
What, the thing? Oh, no, I wasn't looking at that.
So, we got a ton of books to jump through, but before we do, of course, we want to thank everybody for joining us live. This is, of course, a fun show because it is live. If you want to watch us, you can always catch us Mondays around 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully before then, not usually. Of course, we're going to be jumping into that in just a minute, but before we do, I wanted to also mention the show is sponsored by viewers like you. If you are watching the show live, you can always help us out by using the Super Chats to give us a question or comment, and we will read it here on the show, and the proceeds go directly into the infrastructure. Because as the YouTubers you probably watch have indicated to you, AdSense isn't enough, as it usually turns out. That's what they say. They're like, oh, I got the AdSense. That's why every video you ever watch is like, thanks for sponsoring us, Squarespace. And it's like,
not us.
Nope. We have never gotten the Squarespace call. In the beginning, when everybody was calling everybody, we got like the Loot Crate sponsorship. We got all these other sponsorships, but like nowadays, nothing. So in order to supplement it, we rely on Patreon, of course, at patreon.com/ComicPop, and the Super Chats. I only mention it because, I just want to explain it a little bit. Be a little more transparent about it. This is what we do. This is why. It's like, if we're using the Super Chats to help bring the money into the infrastructure, then what the hell are the ads for? It's like, the ads are there for a reason, and we do need those. But also, Super Chats help in a big, bad way. Like Brian Rollins, who said, I have high hopes where Iron Man is headed, and it looked amazing. And Hellcat's back. Why not? Thanks, as always, for all the great videos. Thank you, as always, for your support, Brian. We really appreciate it, man. Yeah, we'll jump into Iron Man in just a minute, because Iron Man, of course, re-debuted. Iron Man, of course, had debuted as Tony Stark, the Invincible Iron Man from Dan Slott. And then there was that Iron Man 2020 thing that happened that I didn't read, and I'm not alone. and now we're here with the dude who wrote the Doctor Doom book that everybody likes. Ryan Craig also says, finally have a study break to pop in while you're live. Thank you very much, Ryan. Welcome to the show. And oh, you got me.
I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too.
I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I don't like the puns, particularly when they're like, about us. I'll take it.
Where are the puns?
Where are the puns? So yeah, let's jump into it.
There were so many books.
That's right. You were just regaling me with tales of the books that you read. Let's jump into them. What books did you read that were fit to print or not?
4 different X titles this week.
Oh my god. I read exactly 1.
Oh.
So please,
you didn't read? Okay, let's
talk about some of these X titles, because we gotta get through these X-Men. When the hell is X of Swords starting?
Soon.
Because I read X-Men and it says soon. It feels like it's very soon.
I think it's like next week.
Okay.
Or like, and by next week I mean like literally in a couple days.
Like in 2 days.
Hang on, I can tell you. There's like a calendar thing. It says it's 23rd. X Sword Creation number 1. X of Swords Creation number 1. 23rd.
What is that?
I don't know.
10 of Swords Creation number 1. That's not 10 of Swords number 1.
Whatever, man. Whatever.
See, I consider the first issue of the event to be the beginning of the event. I'm not doing Road to 10 of Swords.
Well, that's what all these books are. We were on the road. We've been on the road. You didn't even know you were on the road.
But they said
you didn't know you were on the journey.
They said the 10 of Swords was not the main event. This is not like the big thing.
No, this has just been dealing with some of the stuff that's been going on in some of the other books. Did you enjoy the journey?
No.
I did.
I quit most of the X titles.
Well, I've been reading Excalibur.
Yeah, you read that one.
And Hellions. Actually, what I'm going to talk about really quickly is the Giant Size X-Men Storm.
Yes, I did not pick that up.
By Hickman and Dowderman.
Yes, you were very high on this because of...
It's Storm.
Well, yes, you're a big Storm fan, but also because Giant Size X-Men Jean Grey was so excellent.
Yeah, excellent.
Oh.
Yeah, that was excellent. This was fine.
Oh.
It was fine. The issue is, like, it deals with, remember, like, when, Storm had, like, a version of the techno-organic virus.
Okay.
And they had to deal with it.
Okay, yeah.
But...
What?
If you think about it, like, it's gonna kill her. So? So Buttons.
Oh, wait, didn't they establish that, like, now? Like, in this?
What I'm saying is, she can die. It doesn't matter.
I thought she didn't...
Well, if she dies, they'll just bring her back.
Right, yeah, but they have to keep bringing her back. Like, she'll keep dying of it. They can't get rid of it?
No, they can.
Oh, okay.
Like, her thing is like, oh, no, I see, like, life isn't about, like, the, like, redos that we're gonna get. Life's about living, and so, like, I don't want to die, so I'm gonna put a lot of people at risk in order to make sure I don't die.
What?
And that's what this issue is.
But she's, like, that's so hypocritical, because she's, like, the front man for the Resurrection, like, concerts.
They're not concerts.
Because they all come out, it's just like, yo!
I don't think they all do that. I think it's just for some.
I think everyone gets
I
them.
don't think it's for everyone.
This is Glob, but more importantly, what is he? Gross! Hey!
What of it?
Mutant!
Basically, like, none of the mutant geniuses can figure out what's wrong, and Monet figures out, like, how to fix it, and, like, they end up, like, calling in, like, an AIM individual to help out, who's, like, gonna turn on AIM because, like, they got put on a shitty project, and it's like, I just want to get my payday.
Because they're all geniuses in AIM.
Yeah, but basically, it's like, I just want my payday and I want to get out. Phantom X is involved with this. Phantom X is, like, doing, like, his own thing, but he's also there. Like,
Okay.
Cypher and Warlock come along on the trip. And,
is it officially Warlock is no longer, like, a secret?
Straight up.
He's just like, yo! That's
It's
great.
me,
Yay!
I'm here.
Good.
But, like, it's just for these few that are here, and who knows if we're even paying attention, essentially. But, like, folk are, like, Phantom X is doing his own thing in this.
Sure.
He's, like, kind of part of it, but not really.
He had his own book recently.
Yeah, he did. I did not read that, so I don't know what's going on with that, and maybe I should
I think it was just their explanation about how they got Professor X out
All
of
that
him.
matters is at the end of the day, they get the virus out of Storm, but it ends up in this containment thing and seemingly grows sentience.
Oh, no. Oh.
And Cypher knows it.
Okay.
And doesn't say anything to anybody. He's just like, hey, I know, he communicates with it, being like, I know you're alive in there. When are you going to let them know, like, what's up?
Right.
And then that's it.
Oh, God.
So
that's
for
the end of every X-Men
For the
book.
price of $5, I'm like, it informed me about, like, the fact that it's like, here's the thing. Right now, X-Men is a series of plates that have been thrown in the air.
Yes.
And you can't forget about any of them. Because you never know which one's going to hit you in the head.
Okay. Fair enough. I guess that's fair.
And so this is, I was like, all right, yes, of course. We can't forget about the threat of, you know, the phalanx.
The phalanx.
Like,
remember the phalanx?
Yeah. And, like, the idea that, like, you know, technology and, like, sentient technology could be the downfall of, like, mutant kind.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? Like, so, like,
I see.
I'm
okay.
just saying, like, whether or not that actually, like, fleshes out anything, like, it's just one of those things where it's like, remember what some of the stuff that we set up?
Yeah.
Here's a little breadcrumb. Maybe.
Okay.
Or maybe this is like one of the 12,000 breadcrumbs that are in the forest that are going to lead you astray.
Yeah.
Only one of the paths may be the right one. Or maybe they all just converge and, like, everybody will crash into one another and it'll be a spectacular wreck. Too bad no one will be around to see it.
Thanks, Doc. That's fair.
You know,
how's the art?
The art was, like, pretty good. I always have an issue with Datterman's faces.
Yes.
But, like, overall, like, there are some really stunning images in this, and, like, the colorist that they have for it really works well. And, like, there's something, like, so different about Datterman's art, and, like, really sort of works for books like this, in which we're seeing things that are, like, out of, like, weird and, like, you know, like, not, I don't want to say Ditko, but, like, that sort of, like,
we're trying
psychedelic sort of, like, imagery at times. Also, like, you know, the way in which he depicts Storm, and, like, in particular, like, her clothing and her hair, it does give
motion.
Yeah, it gives her, like, this total goddess feel.
Cool.
And so, like, I think that that's a really great fit. Again, his faces for me are hit or miss here and there. Sometimes the imagery can be a little flat, but, like, overall it was pretty good. There's a moment in which Monet is transformed, you know what I mean? And she got her, like, razz. And there's like a big eye monster thing that they're fighting, because they go into the world, essentially. It's like something that AIM was working on, and, like, whatever. And, like, she takes her claws and just stabs it into it, and, like, we see it, like, folding in on itself, like, and it's just really well depicted in a way that's like, I don't want to think about that. No.
That's cool.
It's bad.
Yeah.
So, like, can I recommend it? No, because of the price.
Yeah.
If you're just high on X-Men and you missed this one, and you're like, I got $5 to spare, I guess grab it.
Right. It's like the Magneto issue.
Yeah, I mean, like, that was, like, literally, like, Magneto, that was a cool Magneto story, and this is, like, a thing that may or may not mean anything. I don't know. But
it's got its own issue, so I would hope it means something.
I don't know. So I read that.
Fair enough. Okay. I remember you were excited about that. I'm sorry it wasn't as exciting.
It was not. That cover is dope, though.
It is a great cover.
It's a great cover.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Scarlet Hottie mentions, got lost on the way to Smodcast, ended up here. We'll take it. Thank you very much, Scarlet Hottie. Welcome back to the show.
Welcome,
And,
welcome to this part of the highway.
yeah. The turnpike.
Yeah.
Right? Because like he's Jersey too.
Yeah.
Not from there, or he's not there now.
No.
He might be. I don't know. Actually, he was here the other day.
Yeah.
But yeah. Chase Wellings also helping us out. Thank you very much, Chase. We do appreciate it. There's a lot to jump into. I'm gonna actually leave it back to you. I want you to just kind of like go through a few of the ones that you were I want to talk about this one. I want to talk about that.
I was just playing with the contrast on the video a little bit.
I know.
I'll fix it later.
Okay.
Some post. Let's talk about Hellions. Hellions has been on the show for a bit.
Hellions, another X title.
We missed the week when 3 came out,
mm-hmm.
so I caught up on 3. Read 4. 4 seemingly could be the end of it or not. I don't know. Like literally, it's like, and here's the end of the story. Da 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 da.
That's right.
Hellions.
We don't. Some of them are over. Like some of them, or at least like some of them are more like pilots, where it's like, here's a few issues of this series. Do you want more?
Literally, it's like it's a 4-issue series, like 4-issue story, I should say. That really like wraps up on its concept. The idea is like a bunch of like mutants who seemingly would have been punished and or thrown into the pit and or whatever are formed into a suicide squad by Mr. Sinister with Psylocke, not Betsy.
No.
In charge of them. Yep. And off they go to take care of like Sinister's old cloning facility. When they get there, Madeline Pryor's there.
Yes, I remember that being revealed.
And like, how do I feel about this at the end? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this because it kind of just wraps up. There's like literally did I do that joke at the end of it?
Oh no.
But there is something about the crazy that is Madeline Pryor in this. She is a crazy that is like, it totally makes sense when you think about it for like a half second.
Mm-hmm.
Madeline Pryor's whole shtick is she's real upset and hurt because she has not been invited to Krakoa.
Right.
Because she's a clone. Right?
Yeah.
Like she's not.
Yeah, I'm not technically real.
Right. And so she struggles with that. And like she wants everyone to know that she's a real girl, essentially.
Okay.
And like she's like, how come no one notices me until I start hurting people?
That's
okay,
fair.
Fine. I'll show you that. And like so she's taking vengeance on folk, and like she, wants Havoc for herself, and like she like made his mouth go away, and inevitably he like cuts it back open so he has no lips, so then he's like it's messed up in a great way. Like she is messing with everybody, and inevitably like he's still in her thrall.
Okay. And
like always has been. And like he gets real mad at her at one point where he's just like, the issue is that like I was way into you and all you could do was talk about my brother.
Right.
And the fact that he didn't love you.
Yeah.
And like she's like, be quiet. This is about
okay,
me.
we're
getting away from the point.
You're really ruining my argument here.
Yeah. So like inevitably like she is going to kill him and like everybody in order to get herself to where she wants to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then like she's killed.
Right. Because you can, what else? It's 4 issues, and what are you gonna do with Madeline Pryor?
Right, and like, but like, it's pretty spectacular. Like the whole thing is excellent, and don't forget, like, excellent. Don't forget that Sinister's like Marauder, Marauder. Yeah. She was gonna bring all of them back and have her own little army. Yeah, she was like, that's my plan. I'm gonna bring them all back all at once, and like she actually starts to do that, and then like it goes south real fast. Sure. Obviously, she's not allowed to do that. Mm-hmm. We kind of wrap up the fact that, like, don't forget that Empath is gone already. Yes. Grey Crow gets his opportunity to, like, save his people. Mm-hmm. Remember that he had his team? Yes. Like, Riptide and all them? Of course. So, like, Psylocke helps, like, Psylocke fights off Wildchild in the previous issue. Remember that? Like, he attacked. Mm-hmm. She showed dominance. Now he's, like, subservient to her. Okay. He's like, I just needed to know that someone was in charge. I feel better now. Thank you. Fair enough. And so, like, she kind of, like, she frees Grey Crow and then, like, leaves him behind, and he's like, I gotta get my people out of here. And she's like, that's fine. And so by get them out of there, he shoots them all because then they can come back. Yeah, that's their whole thing. Yeah, that's their whole shtick. They'll be able to come back. Yep. And so then like he like chases after like Madeline Pryor and Havoc, and like she's gonna like she can hear like the demons of hell calling her too, and so like she's gonna like she's got this whole plan. Cool. She's got a whole plan. It doesn't matter because Grey Crow shoots her in the chest. She dies. And, like, Havoc loses it and then, like, just unleashes his powers, thus crumbling the entire base, thus accomplishing their goal. Right. And that's when he says, did I do that? Oh, God. Meanwhile, like, Nanny ends up like as Psylocke and Nanny and the rest of the team are like fleeing, Nanny ends up with them in like the garbage room essentially, and in the garbage room it's discarded like projects, which are just babies,
right?
And like that
bothers them.
That bothers Nanny
naturally.
Like just like, oh
yeah,
okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone basically goes back to Krakoa, like, and like the idea is that like it seems to have worked. For the most part, like, we all knew Empath wasn't going to work. They knew that. They sent him out there. They knew it wasn't going to work.
Mm-hmm.
They'll bring him back. Let's try it again.
Yeah.
But, like, everybody else seems to have come out of it, like, better. They did, like, expend their energy. Wild Child is now literally just following Psylocke all over the island.
Right.
She's completely under control. Like, Nanny, like, had to be reminded to, like, take care of, what's his name?
I don't remember.
Really? Damn it! I can't get to the page fast enough. It doesn't matter. Because like she's so upset.
Psylocke?
No. Orphan Maker.
Oh.
Nanny has to be reminded to take care of Orphan Maker because like she's so upset about what she saw, which has like never happened before.
Mm-hmm.
And Grey Crow basically made a deal that they would bring back his team, but they're going to remove as much of the sinister genetic manipulation from it as possible.
Okay, so we're getting like pure marauders.
Yeah, they're going to be like in the queue and it'll happen eventually. And he's like, that's fine. The plan is like he's done.
Right.
They're all going to like they're not going to stick.
They're not
going to
be the marauders
he's
anymore.
like, we finished it. And we're good.
Okay.
There's like a really cool like letter in one of the books basically that talks about like the idea of like, was it a good idea to put Psylocke in charge? Because the fact is it's like, who are they going to follow at the end of the day?
Yeah.
Like, you know, us on this island or someone who bled with them in war. Like, Charles Xavier was in charge of the X-Men, but who did people turn to most of the time?
Yeah.
It was Scott.
Right.
I was like,
fair enough.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And, like, Nanny ends up, like, confronting Sinister at the end, and that's how we end it. Where, like, she basically gives him a hard time about, like, oh, you, like, all those, like, mutant children. And he's like, yeah, but, like, the whole, like, you being able to come back and everybody being able to come back is built off of my experiments and what I did. So really I'm the father of all this. And, like, all of you, like, you're all, like, my children in a way.
Ugh.
And she's just like, oh, how many of those experiments, like, how many of, like, your orphans or whatever, like, have, like, you know, not orphans, how many of your children have, like, you know, been born, essentially, like, of the new ones? He's like, oh, I'd have to check. And she's like, oh, I was just wondering, for when I punish you, I want to know how many orphans I'll make. And he's like, oh, that's not good. And that's how the issue ends. Like, it's really ridiculous because there's, like, some really, like, cool stuff in there with Madeline Pryor and, like, oh, they're not going to bring her back.
No.
Scott goes to...
Yeah, to the Quiet Council. And they're like, no.
Yeah.
She's a clone. We don't bring back clones.
Yeah.
And Havoc's like, what the fuck?
Havoc's like, come on, man. And he's like, that's not, they don't want to do that.
Dems to breaks.
Yeah, well, and then, like, Havoc's like, what do you want, Scott? And he's like, that doesn't matter. And I'm like,
I'm not the leader anymore. I just listen to them.
So Madeline Pryor is
out.
Dead.
Yeah.
She's dead.
Sure.
But, like, I really appreciated, like, what they did with her. I was like, oh, that makes total sense. She's a clone. She can't come to the island. She can't be brought back.
Right.
Like,
Except there are clones on the island already.
Oh, they don't want her.
Right. But, like, why her? What is
she's acting like she was forgotten. Like, everyone forgot me.
It could be that they forgot. That actually would be brilliant if it's like Hickman just forgot what to do with her and they were like, oh, I'll do a series that like tackles that.
Yeah, well, she's just like, everyone forgot me and you only remember when I start hurting everybody, so that's what I guess I'm gonna have to do.
Yeah, I'm a villain of the X-Men. That's what I do.
But like, and like, she, like the way she's drawn, there's like some really, like, the art in this is great and terrible at the same time. There are a couple of really bizarro anatomy issues that I caught throughout the book, but then like when we see her, like, she transforms from like normal and like beautiful to like crazy and wild-eyed, and I'm like, this is kind of cool because that's like she's having a breakdown. Right. I like that. Yeah, so it was an interesting series. Seemingly it's over. I don't really know if this will have much to do with anything except for the fact that like Sinister may or may not have some plans for whatever for the future of X-Men. He's clearly tied into like the rebirth of like mutants, tied into the Chimera, which we've seen from House and Powers. Yep. So I don't know. I read it because it had like some horror elements. Yeah. And it did live up to that, but like I'm not saying it's recommended reading. No, but it was unless you're looking for that. Like if you're looking to like see Madeline Pryor just be a lunatic, like go for it. Yeah. This is for you. And she looks pretty good doing it. Yay. Ryan Craig, is it supposed to be pronounced X of Swords, Ten of Swords, or Cross of Swords? I've heard all three and I'm still confused. I'm going to say Ten of Swords because of the tarot card implications that go along with it. The Ten of Swords is a suit in the tarot. There is a card that is the Ten of Swords. Yes. So it just happens to work out that the Roman numeral for tens is an X,
Mhm.
so they can do like that play there. But I think it's supposed to be 10.
There are two other reasons I think it's 10. Number one, powers of X is
Yeah.
pronounced powers of 10 according to Hickman.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah,
two,
with 10
Hickman
lives.
said it's pronounced 10 of swords.
Yeah, there you go.
And he's in charge.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
Rab L, Ten of Swords isn't its own title. It happens in the ongoings. Yeah, it's a story that's happening. I'm just saying, like, when is it actually?
we're here.
What is part 1 of Ten of Swords?
We're here.
Like, what is part 1?
There literally was like, I don't remember what it was, but there was like here are the pre-things to it, and then
yes,
like, here's
there's
the
a list. I just need to
list.
look at the list,
There's a
really,
list.
at the end of
but
the day.
I'm reading I'm reading some of the books.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm not, so I need to start. Jake Frang says, thank you so much for your channel. It's helping me through a hard time. I just picked up Mr. Miracle and God Country and couldn't be happier.
good choices.
Those are excellent
You're
choices.
making good choices, Jake.
Yes, you are.
I like that.
Keep it up.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jake.
Yeah.
Josh Wallabaugh says GS Phantom X and GS Storm were the A and B story.
That totally makes sense, but like my issue wasn't I couldn't follow along. My issue was the Storm's reasoning for not dying.
Right.
Which was like
super hypocritical.
It just seemed so weird, and it's written by Hickman. It wasn't like someone had to like figure out.
Yeah, he knew that. Now
Yeah.
that should if that was the case, that should have had like a real oh my god moment because of her being like the MC.
It wasn't. I don't know. It was just. It seemed a little hand wavy. Like they just
Mm-hmm.
wanted to do this, and like they needed to do this, and so
Yeah.
they did it.
I could imagine Marvel being like, all the X titles that you said you needed, they're not selling the way you thought they were going to. So we need to get like $5 or $6 out of people at like one at a time. So we're gonna start. You need to make another GS. You gotta make another giant size X-Men book.
Sure.
I don't know, but yeah. So what else we got?
Should we just stick on the X-Men?
Why
or
not?
are people tired of hearing about X-Men right now?
I don't mind going through X-Men some more. But Lewis Cox says, "Hey, Comic Pop, will you be doing more X-Men stories and back issues?" The answer is yes. We will be. Not for the next month or two. But I do have X-Men on the brain, as does Tiffany, clearly. But no, I'm really looking forward to eventually getting to X-Men again. I'd love to do something seminal. We were gonna do New Mutants when the movie came out. I'm very glad we didn't, because the movie was a huge flop and also a critical disaster.
Yeah.
And it did not rekindle a lot of people's love and fascination with New Mutants. And in fact, they spelled Bob McLeod's name wrong in the credits.
They did.
So let's just get some time and space in between that movie and how great the Demon Bear saga
Demon Bear
was.
saga is good. It is a good story. It's the art that I think does the heavy lifting.
Sienkiewicz is, if you put him on your book,
the story is fun and it's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think it was like a breath of fresh air in terms of like adding that horror sort of injection into New Mutants. But seriously, the art, if it wasn't for that art, I don't know if it would have been
as celebrated.
Yes.
I don't think it would be remembered.
Yeah, it's just a perfect amalgam of the two.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to do like a big old classic X-Men story like Fall of the Mutants, or more likely Fatal Attractions.
Or I'll just cover Hellions.
Or Hellions, yeah. Yeah, we're not going to do that. We did
Hellions.
Excalibur. That's all of the non-X titles. People talked about us doing Dawn of X. Just the Dawn of X titles as one thing.
See,
I'm no.
Yeah, and I don't know. Anyway.
No, but maybe at the end. Maybe Ten of Swords would be a back issues.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you're looking at me. Am I doing it?
I'm not doing it.
Fine.
Rogelio Canella says, little off topic, but have you seen Jurassic World cartoon on Netflix? No. I heard about it. I saw a trailer for it. I said, I'm good. I'll ask Ethan though.
I'm
actually going to tell him to go watch it.
I didn't see anything of it.
No.
While you're doing that, am I jumping?
Please, yes.
So, Excalibur number 12. If you read X-Men this week, there was something that happened at Excalibur that you probably needed to know.
Oh, because I didn't read Excalibur, but I did read X-Men.
Wink. Yeah, no, for sure. Excalibur number 12 informs the opening part of what Apocalypse is talking about in X-Men 12.
In X-Men, okay.
So if you didn't read it, let's chat. Let's chat about it, guys. Excalibur number 12, written by Teenie Howard with art by Marcus Toe. Whatever.
I think it's Toe.
Marcus is knocking it out of the park. His art was good at the beginning, but I know for a lot of people it wasn't as good as some of the other stuff we were seeing in the like main title.
Yeah, well, you know, Lineal U, Pepe Larraz,
But like
Aubrey Silva.
legit, like what Marcus has, I feel like gotten from this is like his art is just becoming consistently really good, and like it's just improving as this book is going on.
That's great.
And so like it just looks fantastic.
I didn't know Toa was gonna stick on that title.
I am so glad that happened. So you kind of need to know a little bit of what happened in the last issue. The last issue like essentially deals with the fact that like remember, okay, so there's a couple different things that happened in a previous issue before this last one. There was like remember Jamie made like an alternate reality that split into 4 other realities that have like each of the other X-Men who are on Excalibur as Captain Britain.
Yes,
keep that in the back of your head.
Okay.
So then in the last issue, Shogo was carrying all of the X-Men to the Citadel. They were shot down. Shogo was hurt, and then it turns out that like there are the white priestesses who stay with Saturnine, and there are green priestesses who live outside in the forest.
Okay.
And they like kind of follow the doctrine, but they kind of do their own things, and then they go against her in a way. And they like they were taking care of Shogo. And they had Jubilee like trapped in like a tree because like she was freaking out. So essentially they were trying to take care of her. She assumed that they were hurting him, and then like just kept freaking out. Eventually they free him and whatever. And so she stays behind with Shogo because they need to go on to the Citadel.
Yeah.
And so the rest of the team, Gambit, Rogue, and Betsy, go off to the Citadel using Richter's powers. And Richter's powers allow them to go underground because the whole area is like they're not gonna be able to get through.
Sure.
So they end up there. They're fighting off like the Citadel's like defenses. They take the flower that they're trying to plant to grow a gate in the Citadel, which will be permanent essentially by Apocalypse's like rule.
Yes.
And as like they're trying to do it, Richter takes it to start it growing, kind of throws it down. The gate grows, and they've got to leave. And they're like, Betsy's not going to leave because she's like, no, I need to figure out what the hell Saturnite's problem is. I'm Captain Britain. I should be allowed here. What the hell?
Right.
Rogue and Gambit are like, we're not going to leave you behind.
Sure.
It's not what we do.
We're in this book. We're not in any other of the books.
Well, yeah, but like, no, Rogue's like, I'm not leaving you behind. You're my friend. And Gambit's like,
and I'm not leaving Rogue.
and I'm married to you, and I love you very much.
Well, and I'm not letting you turn into another.
No more tree people. No more tree lighthouses. No more apocalypse versions of you.
Yeah.
And so he Richter jumped through the portal. As he was about to jump through it, he's like, "Wait, don't these magic portals need crystals to power them up, like we saw in the first parts of Excalibur?"
Yeah.
So he goes through an unfinished portal, and it goes real awry.
Okay.
But it's everything Apocalypse wanted. Everything has been what Apocalypse wanted.
Yeah.
Like I said,
right.
Apocalypse and what he doing? Well, what he doing is gathering the externals. So he gathered the externals and was like, "Hey, you everybody, what's up?" And in the last issue, we got a little history lesson on Kandra. Remember Kandra?
I vaguely recall Kandra.
Yeah, she's like, the goddess of thieves.
Yeah.
Thieves.
Oh no!
And,
yes.
And the tidings and like all that.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I know who you're talking about.
Kandra's one of the externals, and like we get a little history lesson in the last issue in which Kandra, like the externals are all like tied to one another, right?
Yes.
And like they all like if one of them like an external kills another external, their power is like dissipated into the other externals. She had like
Highlanders.
Yeah, she had additional power, and like wanted to put it in a stone.
Yes.
Her like heart stone.
Yeah.
And like so like Apocalypse helps her with that.
Okay.
And so she has that stone, right?
Okay.
She kind of figures out that Apocalypse is doing something, and so the stone ends up in a closet in the Citadel in Otherworld.
Okay.
And so when Betsy and the Magistrix go to have a conversation, she's like, the Magistrix like, "You two stay here," and like Rogue and Gamma are like, "Cool, whatever." And then like Rogue's like, if all of the defenses around the courtyard are doing whatever, and they wanted to go talk, that was really dumb of her. And like she shows Gambit like this like bureau thing, opens it up, and he's like, "I'm gonna steal everything." And he sees the stone, he's like, he takes it.
Oh, okay.
Because he remembers.
Right.
He remembers what that is.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it is very cool.
Justifying Gambit being in this series.
Yeah. So anyway, basically Apocalypse's plan was like, hey, like, here's the deal, externals. He summons them all because they can also do that. Any external can summon all the other externals just by thinking of them, which is why the externals never think of one another.
Right.
According to this.
That's hilarious. Yeah, because they don't normally bring them together.
They don't bring them together.
Yeah.
So, like, they all show up and, like, they're like, "What's up, Apocalypse?" And he's just like, "Oh, I don't know, whatever." And they're like, He's like, "You summoned us." He's like, "I did. Anyway, here's the thing. What makes us externals?
Right.
Like, what is it? What is it about us that, like, makes us an external? And it's like, you know, the fact that like
We can't die. Or...
we have eternal life,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's that we can also like come back, and that we can like whatever.
Yeah.
And essentially, he's like, yeah, but like that's kind of what all mutantdom is now.
Yeah. Are they all externals now?
So we don't really need the externals anymore. So says Apocalypse.
Okay.
And so some of the externals are like, what?
That's fair.
What do you mean? What are you saying? I'm like, what are you saying? We're obsolete? He's like, I mean, I wouldn't use that word,
but yes,
because like the fact is, like you can do something for the greater good, and that is all of my plan. And basically, like, Richter like shoots up out of the ground because like Apocalypse has used his like powers to be able to communicate with him in order to pull him through the horror that he was in. He comes up out of the ground. He's like super powerful. Like Apocalypse's plan is that like to show them the externals like the power of the mutants. He does so. Selene and another one of the externals are with Apocalypse, and so like they fight against the others, and basically Richter like annihilates like Kandra and a bunch of the other ones.
Okay.
And like one of them's still alive, and like he's like, oh yeah, actually I need you, because there's always a coven of
Yeah. What
four.
about Exodus?
Exodus is not there.
He's an external.
Not in this. So I mean, it's just a bunch of other mutants, like externals. It's Cruel, Nicodemus, Kandra, Selene, Gideon, Saul, and Absalom.
Okay.
So Cruel, Nicodemus, Absalom, and Saul all die.
Right. The ones you couldn't name.
Yeah, I think that's
the ones that you don't remember.
Gideon and Selene are on his side.
Okay.
Maybe it's no, Absalom doesn't die. Cruel dies. Because he needs a fourth. He needs a coven.
Yeah.
And
but
so
he
like,
needs 4.
He needs 4.
God
He
damn
needs
it,
4.
Apocalypse.
He says it's always 4.
Of course.
And basically, he's like, their bones. Remember, he used his own bones?
Yes.
He's
yes.
like,
He's going to use their bones.
He's like, I'm going to use their bones. And then, like, he looks at Kandra and he's like, something's wrong with this. He's this moment where he's like, hey, I don't understand. So then, like, Richter kind of, like feels around. And he's like, it's almost like she was, like, empty beforehand. It's because her, like, power and her everything's in the gem.
Right.
So I cut back to the Citadel and, like, Rogue's like, you're really being weird about that gem. You sure you don't know? And he's like, I don't really remember. So like she walks ahead and he's like starts like chatting, and we can see Kandra like beautifully drawn as a ghost like hanging on Gambit.
Yeah.
You didn't tell your wife.
Oh,
what's up with
no.
that? And he's just like, I don't need to tell her this. Like, you know, it doesn't matter. She's like, why'd you take my gemstone? Why? Gambit? And like he's like, I'd rather have it in my hands than like leave it here for Apocalypse to find.
Yeah.
Like I'm not doing that. So, like, basically, like, the Magistrix reveals that she has the 4 other Captain Britons, like, encased in, like, crystals.
Okay.
That they exist, and she has them.
Okay.
And, like, Betsy's like, what the fuck? And
yeah.
she's like, here's the thing, like, your brother was Captain Britain, and he was very good at what he did. And, like, in all the other realities, like, it's always him, and he's always really good at it. But you're not. You suck.
Fair enough.
And she's like, oh, come on. Like, screw you. Like,
I've only been doing this for, like, a couple issues.
Yeah, and so, like, inevitably, like, they're, like, attacked. And it's by, I guess, Rogue and Gambit, because, like, oh, no, it's not their attack. There's, like, an alarm that goes off, because they realize that they stole something. And so, like, they find Rogue and Gambit, and then, like, he's got the stone, and she's like, give it back. And, like, he's like, I'm not giving it back. Meanwhile, like, Apocalypse is trying to, like, do, like, his, like, summoning thing. And, like, he reaches out to Gambit and is like, I need that. You gotta do it. You gotta throw it. And he's like, so here's the thing. I don't like Kandra. And I don't want to help Apocalypse. But I can deal with Apocalypse later, and I don't want to deal with you now. And so he chucks it into the gate, thus killing her forever.
Okay, cool.
Forever. Nothing's forever.
Nope.
And so he opens up the big stone gate. The gate that he references in X-Men.
Right.
Powered by the externals to Otherworld.
Yeah.
Where they
can reach Araco.
Yeah. Or whatever.
Or whatever.
All we know is that, like, Saturnine is very concerned about the future.
Yeah.
And seemingly concerned about Apocalypse. And, like, the rest of the team's like, I don't know, man. What? And, like, obviously they're also worried about Jamie and, like, his hold on things.
Yep.
And you have these 4 additional Captain Britons. But that's where the gate came from. That's what it was. Like, he made that happen here by, like, using the energy of a bunch of the externals who are now gone.
Right. That's cool, because it also gets them off the table, so you don't have to explain, like, how all these powerhouses who might combined beat Apocalypse.
And like honestly,
would
if you
not.
were like Celine and Gideon and the other guy, wouldn't you be like, he's gonna kill us at one point?
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
We all know it. We all know it.
Mm-hmm.
And like he may not even tell anybody, then won't come back.
Right.
He's a dick.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that was that was Excalibur. It's funny how like I really still do like this series. I know for a lot of people it's a lot of moving parts.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tini Howard's doing a really good job of controlling those moving parts. And the only time I didn't like it was that really weird vignette where they went and dealt with the wolves and like that. That was so bizarre, and I just did not need it at all. And I'm so glad I didn't let those two issues like sour me on the series.
Yeah. No.
Because, like, honestly, I'm digging it. Like, I happen to like, we all know I like magic.
Right.
And the fact that, like, Ten of Swords is referencing tarot cards and is, like, slightly tied in with this, I'm like, that's neat.
Yeah.
That's neat. Obviously, I think Apocalypse is going to be a driving force behind this.
Naturally.
And I just think it's kind of cool.
As is the case with with X-Men.
Yeah.
Which kind of indicates that as well.
Yeah.
What's it called? Where are we here?
Decade.
Decade says, hey guys, love the X-Men talk. Finished the B&R run. Sal suggested you in my bookshelf, and I'm collecting X-Men Blue, and I'm enjoying it. Nice.
Very nice.
That's great. Thank you. Very nice.
I was thirsty.
Yeah. Radical Radish, last week's back issues was everything I could have wanted. Thanks again for doing it, and thank you, Tiffany, for turning me on to such a great book.
Yay!
Yeah. Wonder Woman Dead Earth.
Yes.
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 Somebody asked if you were going to do any spooky books for October's back issues.
I don't know. Am I? Yes.
Maybe a couple. We'll see.
Who knows?
Delapa Fiammi Hellions 5 is part of Ten of Swords, so I don't think it's over with. The cover's badass.
There you go.
Creation is part 1.
I was trying Creation part 1 for sure, but like for me, part 1 is everything leading up to it because I feel like you need it. So
right, because you can't just start it.
I'm saying like you got to read some of the prologue stuff. And in terms of Hellions, I wasn't sure simply because of how well this wrapped up.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was like in the like timeline, you can't see far enough ahead to see it. Honestly, Hellions actually came out a week later than the timeline says so. Like like in the back of the book.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was like either delayed or they misprinted.
Could be either one. X-Men number 12 from Hickman and Leinil Yu.
Oh, we're just gonna do all the X titles.
Yeah, this might be the last one with Leinil Yu. I don't remember if he said that it was the last one or if he's wrapping up.
Okay.
He will be leaving. He's gonna keep doing the covers, but he's gonna leave the art duties in the book, and it's too bad because I'm not the world's biggest Leinil Yu fan. I get it and I appreciate it, but like sometimes I want something else. But Yu's style is so distinct that like whatever the feeling is we're supposed to have when we're reading X-Men is achieved through Yu's art.
Yes.
Like X-Men's supposed to feel like something else.
Yeah.
Because everything else has kind of a similar feel to it. It's everything else, all the other titles, Wolverine and like whatever that other one was with that also had Psylocke in it.
Fallen Angel?
Fallen Angels were notwithstanding. The other ones are supposed to evoke that feeling of like Powers and Hawks. Yeah. Where you're like, oh, okay, it all kind of looks the same. But this is so much more different.
Yeah, and I dig it. Like there's something like admittedly cool about it, and like I don't know, it just gives it like a sense of importance.
Yes. The white dude whose name escapes me, Summoner.
The Summoner.
The Summoner. We go back to the game he was playing back in the Empire tie-in, which is weird. It's like it never mattered. But anyway, we get to like the game and like you think it's like, oh no, this guy's screwed, and then it's just like Apocalypse shows up and he's like,
I think he was, but Apocalypse shows up and like
he's like, I need to talk to Summoner. He's important. Get out. All the other X-Men go away. Yeah. And I thought,
and you're welcome.
You're welcome also. But yeah, he's like, do you want to play a game? And Apocalypse is like, do I look like I'm a player of games? And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, you do.
And I like that because like Apocalypse is such a self-important dick knob, and it's like, what's your problem, man? Like, do I look? And Summoner's like, you're not shaking me, man. I don't know who. Like, you're my grandfather. Yeah. Like, we're family, and I'm also like,
we're family, and I'm playing another game.
Right, and I'm a Hickman character who's all white, so I'm like super powerful. I'm one of like 17 character segments created that are all white.
Yeah.
And so I'm like really important, and
Yeah.
so like you don't scare me easily. And then anyway, so Apocalypse is like, is this the issue where we're gonna like info dump everything about like where you come from and everything? And he's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So he does.
Well, you're gonna need it. Like, here we go.
Yeah, because
like,
we're not gonna be able to accomplish everything we need and have a full issue's worth of information.
Right. Well, it's almost like they were like, well, we had to do a tie-in.
Yeah, we lost an issue. Except no, because we got like, well, yeah, but like I think that tie-in was.
I'm just saying.
I think that tie-in was just
No,
literally the same exact. I think this was there probably. Yeah.
I'm sure they did a little more.
It was this and Magneto fighting.
Maybe.
Except Magneto was fighting for no reason. Like he was fighting the.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I wonder if they would have spread this out.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows? Only Hickman knows.
I'm glad they didn't, because actually I remember reading this and being like, oh, all the information. What a weird experience this is. So why don't you, since you're kind of like on the X-Men train, tell us what the story is. What is the Mutants' history of Arakko and the fallen world of Amenth? I was reading this and I'm like, oh my god. Like, and all I could think of was how much Benny, the comic historian, is gonna hate this series.
Meanwhile, I was like, this is cool.
Yeah, because it's just because it's what it is. It's a myth.
It is a myth.
It's a story. Like we are deepening the X-Men mythology.
Yes.
With actual straight up mythology.
Yeah.
And like gods.
It's not just magic.
No.
It's not just no. This is mythology. Like, literally, they tell us the story we've already seen using the panels we've already seen.
Right.
Which I was like, that's cool.
Yeah,
now
the world was one, and then this sword came, and it cut it in half, and these people came out, and they're gonna come back, and this is the Hickman version, this is the Hickman X-Men version of the Black Order. And anyway, so they're gonna show up.
So basically, it's like, the world is like, like, cut in twain essentially, and like demons and monsters poured out, and the only thing that fended them off was like Apocalypse and his crew, and like at the end of the day they were able to send them all back, and it was like baller. But of course his 4 horsemen and his wife had to go.
Oh, Apocalypse had a wife.
Yeah,
surprise. Here's the new character who looks a lot like Proxima Midnight, but whatever.
I thought she looks a lot like him. Like,
yeah, but it looks like him meets Proxima.
Sure, fine, that makes you feel better.
It doesn't.
No. and so like they go off, and when they get there, I think it sucks.
Yeah. Like
it's not good. It's not a good place to be. And like they're basically in this like kind of hellscape, and a lot of people like fall to madness, and like
that's the thing that blew my mind, because I was like, wait, there are people? Like earlier when we see like the mythology story of like the world Apocalypse knew before we were here, before they came here.
Yeah.
When Krakoa and Arakko were one world or whatever.
Yeah, well, it was like I assume what it was like when the world was cut in twain, there were still people on the other side.
Right, but we never see those people, and now we do, and they're they're mutants,
and they're there, and like basically like Apocalypse's wife, Genesis.
Yes, and I think that came up. I think she's been mentioned in this series before.
Right, Genesis. And like the 4, and I suppose like the rest, they form like civilization, and they like essentially make like a city in which they defend. And there's like these towers. There's 10 towers.
10 towers.
10 towers.
Yeah, you'd say there's 10 of swords, 10 powers of 10, 10,
yeah.
10, 10, 10,
10, 10, 10, 10, 10.
It's an X. So what are you gonna do?
And we get like this almost like sort of like America, like Pilgrims kind of like moment in which they, like there's like the first baby born, and like it's Summoner, and Summoner is born seemingly to one of the horsemen.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Yeah,
because they show the horseman again from the back.
Yeah, her.
Yeah.
And this blue dude.
Yeah.
And this blue guy.
Mm-hmm. Apocalypse's son, presumably.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess so. Maybe Genesis, because like was with child or took the child, because Summoner says that like when like basically in order to do this, it's separated like father and or like husband and wife and like child or whatever, right?
Exactly.
And they're like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. And so like they basically this is cool because like there's a panel in which leave me alone.
Okay, no, I just because I'm like, oh my god, the X-Men are so stupid. They're just falling right into Apocalypse.
They can't help it. Oh my gosh! So like we get to see this image from like Arakko, the time before in Arakko, in which there's like what looks like a quiet council in a big circle.
Krakoa!
And there's like, well, it's not Krakoa.
No, but it's like it's
Arakko.
Yeah, it's Arakko, like the living country or like land they're on.
Yeah, there it is. and like one of their like soothsayers, essentially, there's a better word for it,
Yes.
comes forth and is like, we're all screwed.
Yeah.
We're all going to die.
Yeah.
Like,
when I saw the towers fall, my eyes fell out.
yeah.
That's how bad things are.
No, they went blind, but I like my eyes fell out.
Yeah. And Genesis wants to kill him.
Genesis like laughs and is like, I'll take your head, but instead of doing that, she takes him seriously and like gathers her troops and like rides out and like wages like a long war, and like the war lasts for like years essentially, and she's out there. And,
and I love it because like they tell the story about how like the people never see them.
No.
But they hear every like 6 months to a couple of years like victories, and so they celebrate them like Christmas. And so they're like, oh, things are going well out there, because and they're chipping away at this army to get at like the Goblin King or whatever, whoever's in charge of the army.
Yeah. No, essentially that's it. But like first on their way, they stop at this like citadel looking thing.
Yes, which they call the White Sword.
Well, I guess that's what it is. Yeah, the stronghold is that there's like a person there.
Yeah.
And like he was their healer and immortal and external. And external. The White Sword, who like was able to resurrect beings. Now I'm like, is this supposed to be what Apocalypse's son became? I don't know.
Is this Apocalypse? Yeah, no.
I don't know. But like essentially like he has a army of 100 who like go out and like fight back like the enemy every day and then die, and then he resurrects them in the morning.
Yes.
And it's kind of driven him crazy.
Yeah.
And so like he is a mutant, and when they show up he attacks them because like it's all the same to him.
Right.
He doesn't care. It doesn't matter anymore. That's what he does. It's just a constant like cycle of death and rebirth. And so Genesis fights them and then ends up returning. Basically, because like they like his forces like cut them down, and like her and like maybe a couple
like escape.
Yeah, and then one of her own ends up betraying them. She's a turncoat. She's a traitor because her power is she can't lose. And I was like, that's so stupid. But then Hickman immediately turns it into not stupid because it ends up being that like lore and mythology where it's like she traded sides because she could not lose and knew that when they fought, that's the side that would win.
Yes.
And I was like, that is so messed up and awesome.
Yeah. It's also a fun design.
Yeah, and so Amenth is like the demons and like I guess he's the either the person or the force that they've been fighting. Yes. I don't know. I'm not 100% on that. But like that's who they originally fought back into Araco.
Right. Because
they say it's the city of Amenth, but it's the god of Amenth. Yeah. Oh, it's Annihilation.
It's Annihilation.
We got Apocalypse, we got Genesis,
Araco, Annihilation. Yeah.
No, they're just saying like these like really like clutch words.
Yes.
So Annihilation leads Amenth. Amenth is the city in which he lives with all of his like crazy monsters.
Yep.
And so like
this was the page, by the way, where I was like, oh, like I'm glad like you was called because like I just really because I had it digitally, I was able to like look at like how many like I got this real sense of scope.
Yeah.
From the like amount of beings that were in attendance, like it doesn't look like he just copy pasted. It doesn't look like a stupid like computer effect. It's just he draws all these horrible disfigured monsters, and there's just so many of them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't normally pay attention to that kind of thing, but I just really appreciated it.
Yeah.
Like, I like the description, like it's like the mythological where it's like some say they didn't like there was no sound, like there was like total silence.
Because like Summoner is like basically, when she gets this news that, like, the traitor shows up and is like, hey, here's what's gonna happen.
It's over. Yeah.
She's like, Genesis is like, okay, I'm gonna go. And so she goes to Amenth, and it's just her. And, like, the Summer's like, no one knows what happened when she got there. Like, when she, like, made her way up to, like, the throne, like, did they, like, cheer? Did they, like, you know, like, jeer at her? Like, was there, like, you know, yelling, or was there silence? And I was like, that, like, again, like, that's, like, that, like, you know, the oral tradition of story there. So she approaches the throne, and Genesis and Annihilation cross swords.
Yep.
Swords. Which I swear, I think those swords are in like that promo image.
Oh, of all the X-Men holding swords.
I don't
and stuff?
remember. I didn't
probably
look it up.
I like that they cross swords, becomes an X.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, oh, and then Genesis lost. Like between the panels, they're just like, and you're like, nope.
Yeah, but like I do like the idea that it was like because it's a god.
Yes.
And like Genesis lost against them, and so like then basically all of Amenth's like armies were sent forth, and like they destroyed the 10 towers that had been built.
No, they only destroyed some of the 10 towers. They didn't kill
some.
all of them. That's the thing, is that
they were working their way through.
They're working their way through, but some of the towers still stood.
Yeah, but like, so their defenses are crumbling, and they needed to get out.
Yep.
And they needed Apocalypse to come forth and help, and so they sent Summoner ahead.
Yes.
And you're like, okay.
And so Summoner has been trying to open a portal to get there. And that's the thing that like Summoner kind of indicates, where it's like, is Apocalypse their savior, or is he just an opportunist?
Yeah.
Because like, you left your wife there.
Well, yeah, because that's like, they're like, we don't know, nobody knows what happened at the beginning. Like, there are like 3 different scenarios that could have gone down about why Apocalypse did what he did.
Right.
And like, no, 2 of them are not flattering.
No. which is not unexpected.
Right. Now, what I think is interesting is then we have an info dump page which explains the like marking on his chest, which indicates he's a summoner of demons.
Yeah.
Which is like a thing from like a summoner of the school of Amenth.
Mm-hmm.
Which I was like, interesting.
Yeah.
Are you a dick?
Right. Probably.
But it could also be like evocative of the fact that like Apocalypse has been studying magic over in Otherworld.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I don't know if it's like supposed to be like the lineage of Apocalypse can't help themselves but do that, or it's because of the fact that like Apocalypse wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
Like he wouldn't know that what it is, and like in theory his like power would just be that he summons beasts,
right,
as opposed to just being an enemy.
Yeah.
Or like,
because we've seen the cover, he's like, it's the summoner like surrounded by beasts.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, right on. But
right,
like,
right. And like the idea is that like Apocalypse is going to send Summoner back through the portal that they opened into Otherworld.
Mm-hmm.
The like crystal portal. That's where that came from. Because this book does not hold your hand, does not tell you where to find out this information.
No, it doesn't.
Like,
which I'm like,
you.
hey,
screw you.
You could have used an editor's note here.
No, you don't get to know where this came from. It's not, no.
Just, if you didn't read Excalibur, that was on you.
Yeah, that's your fault.
Hopefully you're watching ComicPop.
No. So he's going to send him back through, and he's just like, either like let them know or find out if they still need help. Yeah. Because if it's all destroyed, just come back and tell me, and I will
just come back real fast. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have my revenge. Mm-hmm. The idea is that like Apocalypse is gonna like bring all the X-Men through. Yeah. He's like, okay, I'm just gonna bring my army of I'm gonna bring my own army of unkillable monsters. Yeah. That will be resurrected if they lose. I bet Charles and Eric are gonna think this is a great idea.
Oh, I'm sure.
Totally on board.
I feel like Eric at least is part of that squad.
Moira's like, I didn't see this coming. This is in none of my lives.
No.
What the hell?
Yeah. Maybe don't start a sex cult society on an island you don't understand that you've defeated at least 2 different times, and then find out I have a secret history with Apocalypse. When Apocalypse showed up and he was like, Krakoa, I'm back. Professor's been like, all right, scrap it. We're going back to the mansion. Kill this guy. Yeah.
Kill him first.
Kill him first.
Everyone.
Well, Logan, drop from the ceiling, lop head off.
There we go.
There. Okay. Sorry. By the way, Moira McTaggart, mutant. Here's who everyone's gonna marry.
Just do that. Yeah. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, so yeah, that's it. It's just so it's setting it up.
Yeah, and they're sending Banshee and I don't remember.
It doesn't matter. I mean,
it
does matter because it's really important who it is, because I'm sure because it wasn't like they did it by accident who they picked, but
no, but you have to actually go to they only show him.
Oh. They didn't give him a...
No, he doesn't... Banshee and he do not get a page. It's just over here. Yeah. Yeah, essentially it's like Banshee and... Whoops. Untouchable.
Yeah. I don't know Untouchable.
Here you go. This is off you go. Off you go, buddy, who seems totally fine and definitely not going to screw us over. Nope. And if you don't, then you need to work on your social skills. Right. Because this is not how you build bridges of trust.
No. But it's exciting. This is the first time in a long time that I've wanted to know what the hell Krakoan... And you could find out. Oh. There's a thing. Okay. There's a cipher.
Oh, I didn't. I usually do check it. I didn't check it this time.
You should. I didn't check it yet either, but
I'm sure someone did.
Yeah. No doubt.
So... Yeah.
Somebody asked where the X-Mansion was. They actually do it. There's in Giant Size X-Men Nightcrawler.
Yeah, they go back.
It's just sitting. There's a portal that goes there, but it's basically just overgrown. And there's a thing that there's ghosts or something like that. It doesn't matter. Nobody's using it.
It's just sitting there.
Yeah.
It's just waiting for them to come back,
Yeah,
so that they can have like a sweet ass image of them having to reclaim
Yes.
this like overgrown X mansion.
Yes.
Suffice it to say, like, for me, this is all kind of paying off right now.
Yeah, it's finally catching
because
up.
I've been reading Excalibur, and like Apocalypse is clearly machinations. Everyone,
Yeah.
he's got his machinations. We're gonna like. All he wants to do is get back there, and it's funny because like he clearly wants his four back, but now that his wife's over there,
Yeah. Yeah, but she'll probably be pissed.
yeah.
I don't know, but I'm excited. Like this is cool. When I what I really need to do is just look at the checklist, like the reading checklist, so that we can be like, okay, this is Ten of Swords. This is where it starts. It's issue 1 through 29 or whatever.
Again, a lot of people are saying it is just the creation. It's just we'll know at the end of this what was necessary to read prior to make your reading experience a little more comprehensive.
Yeah, and I think that Ten of Swords will matter in as much as a lot of the stuff that people are complaining about or don't think like is relevant to X-Men is going to go away.
Probably.
Like the X-Men are going to be not unified, but more like splintered as a result, and but because of the splintering, like we're going to see like the X-Men.
Well, this Ten of Swords might also indicate for like Charles and Magneto and Moira as to where the future is headed.
Yeah.
Because if it ends up getting rid of Apocalypse, then like most of the Apocalypse stuff
doesn't happen.
May not be a factor, and then they're going to be like, okay, we need to watch out for this instead.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like we've hinted at.
We did the Apocalypse thing. Now let's go to the Phalanx thing.
Yeah. What's funny too is about this whole idea of the Coven and like them like acting as like one being in a way. It's like the magical version of a Phalanx, almost. And I'm like, Hickman keeps dropping these little things in there.
And
whether or not they're
I think that's just thematic.
I think it is too, and that's what I like about it. That's what
Yeah.
like always feels so cohesive about a lot of the X titles. Not all of them, but a lot of them like just feel like they're all just building this like deeper lore. And, like, that's neat.
Yeah, that is neat, and I think it's fine like to do that and explore that. But yeah, I like the fact that it's not all. I don't know if I like it or I'm frustrated that like it's all connected, like that it isn't all connected.
Yeah.
Where like. The Phalanx doesn't come up, but it's a really important thing. These Sentinels are not a factor. Where they went in that secret room, like where they sent Laura and everybody.
Yeah.
Like, that hasn't come up, and it's not going to be part of this. Or probably not. You remember what I'm talking about? In the Mother Mold, like where it's like, when you're gone, like 1 year, you're 1 hour, you're gone.
Storm went too. Oh no, she was touched by the lightning, and that's where she got the virus. Yes. So it is kind of that, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
but it's not connected. Like but we're doing this now, and then when we get to the next
giant
thing.
size, like with that specifically, was like a touchstone to that. Like, hey, don't forget.
Yeah, and those giant size actually, the thing they're doing is just like you said, they're just reminders. Like, hey, I know it's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's asking a lot to ask mainstream comic book fans to like read multiple titles, juggle multiple plot lines, deal with like multiple timelines, and even like sliding time scales. Like it's a thing. It's a lot. It's a lot of work.
Yes,
it's asking a lot to like enjoy your serialized fiction and treat it like it's a job. Rogelio Canella says Lineal U is going to pop up during Ten of Swords.
That's cool. Great. Good news to hear.
Yeah. Raj Patel, hope all is well. Did you like how Iron Man didn't sound like Robert Downey Jr., but like a character in the universe? Honestly, I'm excited for Iron Man's future in the comics for the first time in a while. Have a good one. You too, Raj. Thank you very much. Yeah, no, I dug it too. I liked his voice, kind of. I'll get into it more in depth in a minute, but yeah, I don't like when they just try to do the movie. I found that that's the case pretty much across the board in the mainstream in the large scale events. They're like, okay, movies. The only one that hasn't been that way is Spider-Man.
Oh,
they haven't Tom Holland him up.
There you go.
I do like Tom Holland, but I don't want that in my like.
Okay.
Spider-Man.
I thought you meant like Tony Stark specifically. In like, I was like, where was Tony in Spider-Man recently?
Yeah, no.
I realized you were talking about.
No, I'm just talking about the actors.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you, man. And thank you for your support. Mr. Giggles getting my lift on in the comics on the beats. Nice.
Hi.
Sean D, that place looks like Thulsa Doom lives. That's funny. Thulsa Doom was James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
And,
yeah. No, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it does.
I could see that.
Come down, child.
Jump.
Carl Maxey says, do you think Dr. Doom should have stayed as a good guy a little longer? I enjoyed Infamous Iron Man and thought it was a great character growth. I also really enjoyed Infamous Iron Man. I'm disappointed that it ended when Bendis stopped. I kind of like would have liked to have seen at least one more arc with Infamous Iron Man with someone else on it.
Yeah. Okay.
Unlike Jessica Jones, where I'm like, I really only want to read Bendis as Jessica Jones. I feel like Infamous Iron Man had potential, and I don't think anyone really got there. Because I remember Infamous Iron Man being on, like, not on the Avengers, but like trying to be on the Avengers for like in one of the arcs, and I was like, this sucks.
That's fair.
I'd like more. Yeah, I was disappointed by that.
Please write more.
Please write more. That's my note. Rogelio Canella says, I don't think the mansion has been mentioned, but I think it would be cool to have the Purifiers or some group of the X-Men's villains using it as their HQ. That'd be a really good idea.
It's just Squirrel Girl. She's just in there with all her squirrels.
Well, our squirrels, yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be fun. You know what'd be really funny is if Dan Slott was like, screw it, the Fantastic Four, moving into the X-Mansion.
Oh, that's awesome.
We're moving to Westchester. Ha ha.
It's just the West Coast Avengers.
Right?
They're like, I know it's not the West Coast.
That'd be amazing. The X-Men would be so pissed.
They're like, it's not even close to the West Coast.
No.
But it's Westchester. Shut up.
Yeah, it's the West Avengers.
We don't have to pay rent.
Yeah, you marked it as abandoned. Kevin Kruger, when WandaVision comes out, will you do the Vision and Scarlet Witch miniseries from the 80s?
We'll probably just talk about WandaVision. That trailer had me.
Yep.
I was not super like interested in it initially.
No, I was all on Falcon Winter Soldier.
I don't even know. I mean, like, I was sort of like, I was like, yeah, I'll watch it. I'm gonna watch it. I'm definitely gonna watch this.
Yeah.
But like that trailer, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And because they didn't finish shooting Falcon Winter Soldier before the coronavirus, but they were closer to finish with WandaVision. WandaVision has now switched release dates with Falcon. So now at the end of this year, we're gonna get WandaVision.
Literally,
instead.
that's fine.
I'm okay with that too.
It's like, what the hell is that show on Sci-Fi?
I don't know. There's a lot of them.
No, with the two, like, the mini, like, the copy pasta or creepypasta stories.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Camel Cove.
Yeah, but what was the name of it?
Channel Zero.
Channel Zero! It's like a Channel Zero Marvel
It does
story.
look like that. That'd be cool. What was it? You're welcome.
Thank
Carl Maxey. Hey, Tiffany, do you think Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, would be a better wife to Doctor Strange than Clea ever was?
No. I love Elvira. She's campy and ridiculous and over the top and, like, just a cultural icon, honestly. But no, I'm gonna stick Clea.
Yeah.
Clea's a better fit.
Yeah.
For sure.
I would like to see that.
Yeah.
Or an Elvira character. I don't know. I don't want the Elvira. I would like to see Marvel create their own Elvira.
Right? Sure.
Spiky Animations says, what do you think of Alex Ross's Iron Man suit? It's perfect blend of classic and modern. I love you guys, and ComicPop is awesome. Thank you very much, Spiky Animations. Yeah, I dig it. I like it a lot. I kind of, like... As it turns out, I'm just not the world's biggest Iron Man fan. I read this most recent issue, and I was like, this is cool. We don't have it, do we? Like, here?
No, it's at home.
Okay.
It's at home with the other books.
Oh, good.
We had it in the actual physical copies.
That's right,
It's in a bag on my desk.
Yeah.
It's a good place. It's safe.
Don't worry.
It's safe.
Yeah, I did
Not
want
to. It turns out, by the way, in terms of Iron Man suits,
yeah,
the like Marvel Avengers game has made me realize that like I enjoy these sleek like suits that he has on,
yeah,
like the red and
or whatever,
and the gold or the red and yellow, whatever you want to call it. I do dig it, but I really do like some of the bulkier ones. Like I have like one of the like pre-order unlocked skins or whatever, and it's all silver, and it's a little bulkier, and I was like, this is cool. It also makes me think he's a bad guy,
right?
And so I'm always punching him.
Well, because there's a lot of armored guys.
There's just
a
lot of synthoids and adaptoids and things like that, and I'm just like, hey, little silver dude, Hulk punch,
yeah,
kabam.
Well, so you're playing the Avengers game?
Yeah.
Where can people find you playing that?
Over on Twitch.com/.
Twitch.tv.
Twitch.tv/ComicPop. It's that com.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Luckily, we don't have a .com.
But yeah.
Yeah. So Ripley's sitting on it. I hope not. There's a whole bunch of things in that bag.
Yeah.
So yeah, you read Iron Man.
Yeah, I did read Iron Man.
What'd you think?
It was fine. This is written by Christopher Cantwell with art by Cafu.
Okay.
If you're not familiar with Cantwell, he did the Doctor Doom series. He's still, I think, still doing the new Doctor Doom series, which I read the first arc and I was like, I hate this book. And then I reread it and I'm like, oh, I see where he's going with this. I kind of enjoy it a lot more. But meh. Like, it's fine. But I was really excited to see what somebody who, like, tackled Doom would do with Iron Man, especially since I found Slott's Iron Man to be something that was it was very clearly directed. Like, he had a plan and a vision for this character, and I didn't like it in any way, and most people didn't either. But so I was like, okay, let's see what this guy's got. Because based on the Alex Ross cover and the, like, creative choice and the armor reveal clearly they were like, we're doing something else. Like,
Mm.
throw everything you know away about whatever the hell was going on with that book you didn't read. This book was just Iron Man's looking for a change. He wants, like, they kept referring to him as like abandoning technology, or like turning his back on technology. Which
He's going to magic.
Yeah, which no, not at all.
No, but they definitely remember that.
I know they've done that before. Only Bendis covered it, and it's horrible. Nobody wants it. Yeah, remember Bendis's future vision of Tony Stark being Sorcerer Supreme? Horrible idea, and it looks terrible. But this
just a different white guy with a similar
it literally
hair
just looks like Doctor Strange. But yeah, people are saying like, oh, within the context of the book, they were like, oh, Tony Stark's turning his back on technology, going a little more analog, and I'm like, no, he's not. He's still flying the suit. He's still using the AI voice. He still has his billions of dollars. The book was like is weird, like hodgepodge of things. Like
maybe he's just going more startup.
Yeah. I don't know. It was Cantwell's trying a lot of things, but not a lot of like groundbreaking things. Iron Man is, I don't know. I'm not the world's biggest Iron Man fan, as it turns out. I like the Iron Man movies, kind of. I like the first two.
Okay.
I still enjoy the third one, but like, meh. But like, I don't know. This is fine. It felt very run of the mill. It felt very safe.
But maybe that's what people needed right
now. Oh yeah,
now.
no, I think people need a palate cleanser.
People who are Iron Man fans might have really like gravitated towards this book because it's just like, hey, here's just an Iron Man story.
Right, but
enjoy.
And it kind of is, but it also reminds you of the movie, particularly the third one, because like it is about Iron Man. Like, he throws a party with rich people. One of those rich people, like, someone sneaks in and is like, I'm gonna revolutionize this thing that you're gonna ignore me about, and I'm gonna become a villain because of it. And it's like, I literally saw that in Iron Man 3, man. Like, I just saw that shit.
You didn't just see
that. No, that came out like 10 years ago, but like, it was in Iron Man 3. The movie made $1 billion. Like, we all saw that already.
But you can't not, like, if you want to do that, like story, you can't not do it just because the movie did it.
But am I expected to believe that you came up with that idea all by yourself?
Probably not, but like, the fact is, like, not everyone, but like, there might be people who read Iron Man just because they actually
want
came
Iron
from
Man.
the movie, like,
or
they like that Iron Man.
Fair enough,
but like, I'm sure there are other people who are like, I don't want that.
Yeah, I don't blame them. But yeah, it was very much just like a Tony Stark who's like he's directionless, kind of like the character is right now, and so that's kind of like thematically interesting. The art was good. I thought Cafu did a nice job.
Okay.
The Alex Ross covers are a great idea that are working brilliantly for Immortal Hulk, and I hope do the same thing for Iron Man.
But you didn't like when they did the Spider-Man ones.
No, because they were awful.
Okay.
They were boring, they were irrelevant, and they diminished the Alex Ross brand. For me, part of the reason why the Immortal Hulk Alex Ross covers are so successful is because each one could be the cover of a paperback novel or a cult classic movie poster.
Yeah.
Like, they do reflect the thematic or tonal elements of the story that they are covering, but they're also just dope-ass Hulk covers. The Spider-Man ones were like, look at Spider-Man fighting a character that you don't care about and you'll never see again. It's not like classic images of Spider-Man, but like updated.
Right.
It's Spider-Man in his all different costume, but fighting Green Goblin or Sandman or something. Like, it was the mundanity of Spider-Man doing the crap that he was specifically doing, and that arc portrayed by Alex Ross. Like, compare that to the mural Alex Ross did for the Marvel like office that like is a full-sized wall of like the distilled images of every Marvel character, and it's like, it's apples and oranges.
Sure.
I hope, based on the strength of this issue, and I think the subsequent issues I've seen the covers for, that we're going to go more Immortal Hulk than Amazing Spider-Man. We also brought Patsy Walker Hellcat back into like kind of like from whatever the hell they wanted to do with her into being a superhero. I dug Patsy Walker's portrayal. She's fun. They didn't waste any time. They didn't give you like some annoying backstory or explanation for like where she was or what her character is. Her reaction to Tony, I'm very unimpressed with you, is just like all I needed. I really enjoyed those. I really enjoyed her use of that, in that. I guess she'll be in it. The thing that blew my mind or made me frustrated again was like that they like when Patsy shows up,
Yeah.
Tony's like, ooh, a pretty redhead that
Yeah.
belongs in a different book.
Uh-huh.
I remember when you did that the last 2 times. And I'm like, you're doing another one? But like, maybe that's because Tony has a type or her. I don't know.
Obviously he does.
But like, he's not trying to sleep with Hellcat, and I really hope he doesn't. Like, I hope it's about.
It could just be that
she's not interested,
they
which
were
I really
like,
appreciated.
that they wanted to put in a female like foible for him kind of
Yeah.
thing, and they were like, who's available right now?
Well,
And
yeah,
and like someone who isn't going to outpower him.
right.
You know what I mean? Like you need like.
But or could in a fun, surprising way.
Sure, but I'm just saying like you're not gonna like obviously Sue Storm's not gonna be hanging around.
No.
She-Hulk
Is
doing
in her own thing.
She's doing her own thing right now.
Mhm.
But like even still, it's like she could crush him
Yes.
like just on her forehead.
Absolutely. Yeah, like a beer can. But yeah, but Iron Man like.
But like, and that's also kind of the big thing now is a lot of writers just want to grab characters who haven't been used and like put their own mark on it. And so
Right.
like they're like, ooh, Hellcat, she hasn't been in things in a bit.
Yes, and I'm
not
like,
in like a long past because like she was in the Netflix series and they brought her
Mhm.
back for her own thing.
yeah,
for
but
a
she
little
wasn't
bit.
really Hellcat in that.
No, but you know what I mean. Like, but like she was in like people's like thoughts,
Hopefully.
and then they did that little mini like that series for a little bit.
Yes, like the kind of like half like Archie, half like romance book.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. So like now it's like, oh hey, I can do something with her.
Yes, I'm gonna make her like a Marvel hero character.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
she
yeah.
should be.
Yeah.
I liked that, and like Tony busts out the Iron Man, like the new classic Iron Man armor, and it's
Sure.
like it's cool. Like I love the image, and it's like a great homage to the front, like to the first issue cover. But like, I don't know if it works within the context of the story, where like just out of nowhere he's like, and I'm doing this, and like unless it's all stacking against Tony, where it's like, Tony, you're not thinking about what you're doing. You're just doing. You're just reacting to things.
Right.
And he's like, and all the things that like I'm throwing phones out the window, and I'm like, I'm disparaging AI, and I'm also gonna go with this like more classic suit.
Is this on the heels? Are they even acknowledging Empire happened?
No.
Okay.
Not even a little
Well,
bit.
because I was thinking, like, he kind of messed up there. It wasn't really his fault. Like, there was obviously whatever, but like, it could just be he was having like, like a crisis of faith in a way in like tech or whatever.
Yeah, they could definitely have done that.
Where
but they
just,
didn't do that.
Okay.
No, it says nothing to do with.
Doesn't like. Here's the thing. Just because you have already admitted you're probably not an Iron Man fan, so that's not a reason to not grab this book. If
Not
you
at all.
Are
It's
an
a
Iron
great...
Man fan? Like, this is a number one. This might be a chance for you to give it a shot.
If you like Iron Man, you're probably gonna enjoy this book because it feels like an Iron Man book. It feels like a Michelini Iron Man book, which no complaints.
Right.
But if you don't know or you've never tried Iron Man, not a bad place to start. It very much starts at the ground floor.
Right.
So it's an easy pickup. It's an easy try. For me, like I'm often like looking to see like, do I care about Iron Man yet? Am I interested in Iron Man? And the older books that I look at, that I like revisit, I'm like, oh, that's kind of fun. Like I kind of enjoy these.
Yeah.
But every modern take on Iron Man, pretty much like from Warren Ellis onward, I'm like, I don't really find you interesting or sympathetic, Tony.
That's okay.
But like that's fine. But I enjoyed the shift and the change.
Yeah. Well, again, we've said this before, but that's why there's so many different characters. You know what I mean? There's a character for everyone. It doesn't mean it's not a good story.
Yeah, no, and for me, it felt very run of the mill. But like, but check it out because like at least the first 3 covers are great, like Alex Ross paintings.
That's cool.
And the other thing I'll have to ding it on, and I don't know about you, and I'll ask you for your opinion because like you're a graphic designer. What's up? Like, do you hate their like formatting for the numbers for number ones now? I've seen this like for all the recent Marvel number ones they've put out. They take the very simple like Marvel like branding that they put on everything, from like a cereal box to a backpack, put it at the top of a box, put a 1 in it.
Yeah,
that's all you get. It's just like Marvel and 1.
Yeah,
it's very simple, but it looks like it doesn't look good.
All right, so
I think it's kind of ugly.
I have 2 brains on this one.
Yeah, please.
From the like marketing standpoint for it,
right? Like you need to get
that makes 100% sense.
Right.
I need to get people to see from across a store.
That's the first issue,
or even in a tiny thumbnail of like a digital storefront. This is the number 1.
Yeah.
Number 1, I could jump on it at number 1. I'll give this a shot.
Right.
So from that standpoint, makes sense. From the artistic standpoint, it detracts from the Alex Ross cover.
Thank you. It's quite ugly.
Yeah, but like that's because it's taking away from the art, and like Alex Ross covers have a lot going on. The Iron Man logo is big, it's bulky. It makes sense.
And it should be.
For what it is, it is like wham.
And it's a classic Iron Man logo. Like, it's not the classic Iron Man logo, but it's a logo that's from the past. I say it's like more like an 80s logo, but it's like
it makes the top heavy, but like the fact is, again, from the branding standpoint, that makes sense. They did that on purpose.
Yeah.
It's all on purpose.
I just hate it. I'm just like, ugh.
Well, you want them to have the option, like some like publishers.
Oh, you could just have no #1 on it. You could have nothing.
Well, yeah, some of them like they just show the art. Like some of them have like the optional just art covers. So,
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. What maybe instead they should take a page out of the books from 20 years ago, put a big like starburst on it. So it's like first issue collector's item.
See, no, that like doesn't that make that less egregious?
It does.
Or it's just a simple #1.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
I'm the first issue.
Mm-hmm.
I know those you're looking for.
And I think it goes away. Like I think after 1 they don't do that anymore.
No,
but
screw that. That's stupid.
Yeah, but seeing it, and maybe it's supposed to, because you see it on all of them, like the Immortal She-Hulk book that's coming out. Same one. I've seen that #1 on a bunch of things, and it's supposed to feel like, I think it's supposed to have like a feeling of cohesion and homogenization. This is what we do with our first issues, and it's our branding. It's our way of saying this is the first issue. Get you to see it.
Eventually, it'll just be the #1 and the title above it.
Right.
There won't be any image.
No,
just Iron Man #1.
Well,
like
they're already
up like 2/3 of the cup.
They're already halfway there with those horrible variants that say like, we're coming out on Wednesdays. Fart.
Listen, some people want that. They're like, yes,
no, they
I'm
don't.
in. I don't know, whatever.
Who would want that? Jumping back into the super chats really quick. But yeah, I recommend it if you're looking to start on, if you're ever thinking about trying Iron Man. I think this is a quintessential Iron Man book to pick up and try. Silvery Cricket, I'm surprised they didn't combine all the Corona canceled books into one team book. That'd be funny. Hats Beetle says, no, I'm late again. Busy making breakfast with the family. That's good for you.
What are you having? I don't know if you're in.
What are you having? We'll be sure to watch the replay. Thank you.
I don't eat it a lot.
Here's some support in the meantime. We appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yeah, I love breakfast.
And hey to the fam. That's gonna be creepy. Don't actually say hey from us. They'll be like, who the hell is that?
Yeah, what? No.
It's fine. Just ignore I said that.
Super Pooper, anytime I see a woman with red hair at a party in an Iron Man comic now, I can't tell if it's MJ or Pepper. I did not expect Hellcat. Me too. I was like, oh God, is Mary Jane in this book just to say, I'm not in this book? No. Then I'm like, oh my God, is it Pepper? And then it's like, no, it's Patsy. And I'm like, oh, okay. All right.
Then it's like, oh, it's Medusa.
Right. Oh.
And then her hair it pulls a martini in.
Yeah. I take that. Cricket says, if the premise for the new Iron Man book is Tony leaving tech behind, I want them to commit to that idea. Like Tony starts a farm or a trading company. Yeah. I don't think that's what people are looking for, but I hear what you're saying. Like, go all in.
This is my fair trade coffee farm.
Right?
I'm bad at growing coffee. I don't have the right soil. I don't know what I'm doing. And apparently you can't just like use a screwdriver and or a computer to fix it.
Nope. Storm King, it seems to me he's having a midlife crisis. I wonder how old he is in the Marvel sliding time scale, like maybe 45. I don't think Marvel wants you to think 45. I think they want you to think like 35.
He's like 35 for.
Yeah, I think they're happy letting Tony be in his 30s.
Sure.
Ryan Craig, Tony should make a wood armor if he's going analog.
Just like Bender.
Yes. Yeah, he gets a downgrade.
I'll never make it this time.
Oh God. Slippery Cricket, Tony should run for mayor of New York.
Mayor Stark.
Why not?
Mayor Stark has a good ring.
Yeah, at this point.
That would be such a bad idea.
It'd be so funny.
Inevitably, it would just be like, they would have to have the reveal where it's like a hollow Tony that he's like really like, or he took like one of the LMDs and he made it into Tony and he's like, I couldn't do it.
Right.
I can't take it.
It'd be funny.
I thought I wanted to be in charge. I cannot be in charge.
I'd see that. I'd take the arc of that. Because he would put a suit of armor around New York and it like, it would look like Metropolis.
Yeah, but then it would like, all right, no. This is just me thinking in terms of Spider-Man.
That'd be really
so
cool.
It wouldn't work because like then like immediately I want to make it where it's just like Tony thinks he's doing something great and it totally gets messed up.
Yeah, it screws up the whole thing. Like you can see like Spider-Man or Daredevil like trying to stop purse snatchers and a friggin' like Iron Bot shows up and he's like, get out of here. That'd be really okay.
It's
I'm
like
sold.
RoboCop.
Yeah,
but Tony.
Yeah, I would love that. Carl Maxey, which is the most awkward eye-rolling name drop? Rey Skywalker's line at the end of Rise of Skywalker or the Robin line in Dark Knight Rises? I guess Robin. Because like, Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that was pretty rough. You should go with your real first name, like Robin. Like what even?
Yeah, no,
What
that was
so like weak.
that was like they forgot to call him Robin in the movie,
Or
and they were
like,
going to shoot that scene. They're like,
Or they shot that scene as a way to screw over like bloggers, and then they accidentally put it in the real movie.
no.
So Batman '99 came out from Jamestown IV with art by Jorge Jimenez.
Okay, you want to go right into that? That's the thing people want to hear about.
Well, what about Tech 1027?
Because I've got two things that nobody. Oh no, one.
Oh, let's hear it then.
I'm just gonna really quickly mention that Once in Future came out.
Yes, how was Once in Future?
Dope. Did you not see my tweet?
I did.
Kieran Gillen liked it.
Yay!
Listen, I'm never gonna stop talking about Once in Future until it's over, and even then I'm gonna be like, hey, remember Once in Future and how amazing it was?
Yep.
Written by Kieran Gillen with art by Dan Mora, who is going to be famous for doing a million other things.
For doing Batman stuff.
For doing Batman and whatever else they decide to put him on from here on out.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, this issue is everything and anything that like you could want from this series, which is awesome lore, stories kind of turned on their head, like chainsaw toting kick-ass grandmas. It's just awesome. We've seen the Beowulf spin in this. Grendel showed up, and if Grendel's there, you know what's next. You know what's next.
That's cool.
It's a spectacular story. It's silly to hear me say it, but it is action packed. I've said it 1,000 times. It's an action film.
Right.
This is an action movie surrounding Arthurian lore, but not in the Keira Knightley movie, like Arthur, whatever that was. I think it was called Arthur.
Oh, King Arthur, yes.
Yeah, not like that. Like real modern world action flick.
Yeah.
Badass.
Like Excalibur but with more magic.
More magic and just more modern sensibilities, and the dialogue. It's a normal sized comic book. It reads so fast though because it's really well written, and you can hear everybody kind of saying it in your own little it's a spectacular book.
I'm so glad.
The other thing that I read before you just head off into DC world, every once in a while I check in on Thor.
Yeah, because you really you like Jason Aaron. You're a big Donny Cates fan.
I am a Donny Cates. Sometimes I'm a Donny Cates fan.
Sometimes
I'm a Donny Cates fan. Asterisk.
Yep.
This was Thor Hammerfall Part 1 of 2.
Mm-hmm.
The hammer's heavy kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
Which he's saying he's not doing that.
Good. I'm like, oh my god.
But he is doing that, but he's not doing that. Written by Donny Cates with art by Aaron Cooter.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks dope. Basically, Thor sends the hammer back down to Broxton, Oklahoma.
Yep, I read this issue too.
Did you?
I did.
And the whole issue is just Thor planning for the future because something's wrong.
Yep.
And he's like, I gotta have some plans in line. He's dealing with the fallout of everything that happened with Galactus.
Mm-hmm.
Asking a lot about Thanos. And asking a lot about Thanos and bringing him back and that kind of thing. And I'm like, are you talking about maybe bringing yourself back? Or are you talking about maybe bringing back Galactus?
Well, he has a vision of Thanos.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Because I didn't read that part.
Yeah, no. Well, there's a flashback to the image that everyone that a bunch of YouTubers made a bunch of money off of showing, which was just Thanos holding Mjolnir with the Infinity Gems wedged into it.
Yeah, which is that's a cool.
Just like an action figure, it's like a playground idea. Oh, I got Mjolnir. Oh, I got the Infinity Gems, and I put them in Mjolnir. Right, what are you gonna do now?
Did you see all the Marvel zombies with them too?
Yeah, that's really fun.
Like Sentry and Kamala Khan's there, and Hulk,
cool,
and She-Hulk. But regardless, so he's having a conversation with Beta Ray Bill, who's kind of pissed still.
Yeah,
he's like, you punched me in the face.
You punched me in the face, and you joined Galactus.
And you broke my hammer.
Yeah.
By the way, really weird for me to see Bill without his helmet on.
It's very weird to see without the helmet.
It's jarring.
Yes.
Because he looks less like a horse and more like a Y.
Yeah, more like a skeleton. That's horrifying.
Your people
Put your helmet back on. And then he does, forgivably.
And you're like,
whew, now you're cool again.
Okay, I can make it through the rest of
No,
this
you know what's funny, though? He's in Death of Inhumans, and I see him without his helmet on, and I think it's just Cooter's art.
It's just very jarring, okay? Yeah. It's very upsetting for me to look at. I don't know why. All I could think about, though, was your species doesn't kiss. You just rub your teeth against one another.
Ugh.
It's just
Please don't.
It's a lot. Regardless, they have a one of those awkward sort of conversations between the two of them where it's like, what am I doing here? I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
And Thor basically is like, here's the thing. I have to go do some crap. And I may not come back. And if that happens, I need someone to take care of Asgard.
We need a Thor. How about Horse Thor?
And I'm looking at you.
He's like, done.
He's like, cool, because Beta Ray Bill's like, hey, you took away my like Asgardian membership card. Like I was like an honorary Asgardian, and then you were like, no. Now I'm like, yeah, okay. And he's in, and like they go off to like the forge because he's like, I'm gonna need a new hammer.
Yeah. He's like, we can have any weapon in the armory, or we'll make you one.
I don't care. And he's
I'm
like,
good, make a new one. Yeah,
and,
speaking of hammers.
Mjolnir was sent down. It's funny because like Thor writes on it Tony Stark's private cell phone number, which I think is hilarious that he has it because, as we established, Thor doesn't want to have a phone.
Right.
Because Sif mentions that we have these magic rectangles. Like,
yes.
That the Midgardians have these things, and you
she's
can, like,
right.
Send Loki likes them.
That's enough of a reason.
I was
not to
like,
use it.
Loki is behind every spam bot out there. Thanks, Loki.
Yeah.
But he doesn't care for that, and I was like, so why do you have Tony's number?
Right.
Maybe Tony felt like he's like, oh, he's never gonna call me.
Yeah.
Send a raven, which he does in this. But like he puts his personal number on there, so like Adam Aziz,
yeah, Aziz, I think,
calls it, and like Tony's like almost hangs up on him.
Yeah.
So then like he like Iron Man goes down there, and like they're all trying to like there's like news like reports there, like, and they're like, oh, like what's happening again? Oh, what's happening? Woo. And then like as like Thor and Beta Ray Bill are talking, like Beta Ray Bill's like, what's up? Like what's up with Mjolnir? And he's just like, it's not that it's just getting heavier for me, it's getting lighter for others.
Yes.
And like Tony basically like thinks it's like a joke about like, we can't pick it up, whatever. And then like on the side of the hammer it says, pick me up.
Yeah.
Drink me. And like Adam goes over to it and grabs it and becomes like a Thor.
Yeah.
Which is like, he's like silly looking.
Yeah, he looks great.
He's this little old man Thor with like little wrench knee pads.
Right?
His knee pads become wrenches, or his wrenches become knee pads.
Yeah, I love the cover also because it shows like all these heroes like hands.
Yes,
for Thor.
And none of that happens.
None of that happens. It's a big lie. Which is too bad.
Look at how dope Beta Ray Bill looks there. With
he looks great.
With his Centurion helmet on.
I know, I love it.
And you take it off, and it's no.
Yeah.
No, I know it's gross.
Yeah. By the way, if you do call the number, you will get an actual. You get next.
Yes, this is Iron Man. However, due to some big blonde jerk, I no longer use this number. But hey, nice try anyway. For all things Tony Stark, please visit www.tonystarkironman.com and try and stay safe out there, yeah? I'm busy enough as it is.
So, it really is a number. You can really call it. You get to hear from Tony Stark. It was a lot of... I was like, that's really cute.
That's fun.
Because at first I was like, oh god, it's going to be a 555. And then you see it and you're like, oh!
No, and he actually uses a 212 because that means his number's from New York.
That's right.
Because 212 is a New York area code.
Because you can just make up a thing. You can just go to Google Voice and create your own phone number. We did that once. But yeah, no, I dug it too. Yeah. I recommend it.
Yeah, I had a good time with it. I hadn't checked it in a while. I kind of fell off when Thor was dealing with his fun, ridiculous tiara outfit.
Yeah, I don't like that outfit.
With his, like, he could totally be a Sailor Scout outfit.
Mm-hmm. Sailor Scout fit.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah.
Just want to mention it before we head back into DC land talking about Batman and other Batman.
And more Batman. We're probably going to skip one of the Batmans.
Batman!
Delapa Fiammi says, the OG 4 Horsemen are for sure Apocalypse's children, straight from the X-Men editor. There is supposed to be a betrayal, might be Summoner.
Like, there's literally no way Summoner isn't the betrayer. Unless it's Genesis and it's like...
Or Summoner and Genesis.
Yeah. Maybe that's why, like, Apocalypse has such an issue with Gambit and Rogue. He's like, no, if I don't get to be
It
happy,
doesn't work. Yeah. If I couldn't make it work and I'm a god.
You can't make it work. And you're just a little Cajun man. I hate you.
Yeah.
I hate you.
Ray, I'm honestly just relieved that Rick Grayson is finally gone. You're great. Listening to back issues got me through art school. Keep on keeping on.
Yay, nice. Art school.
Yeah. Thank you. Kevin Kruger asks, will y'all do Valiant for back issues? Not really. Probably not. There was a Bloodshot movie. We didn't get a chance to do Bloodshot, like the collected edition, yet. As a tie-in, the movie didn't do well. So, it was a good thing we didn't do that. Anything's possible.
Everything's possible.
Everything's possible. And, back issues is around for another 20 years. We'll probably get to it at some point. Tardisman says, I read about Netflix getting the rights to a bunch of Boom books, and I instantly started mentally casting the Once and Future series.
Thank you, right? Yeah, I'm there. I'm with you. Helen Mirren.
Yeah, we're getting... Oh. You're already ready for this. Nice. So Batman 99 came out, Tynan the Fourth, him and his, essentially the Bat Tynan's like, hey, does anybody forget that I wrote Detective and I love the Bat Family? Because here it is.
It thematically works.
It completely works. This issue is expertly written. Everyone's in character. Batman scrambles the Bat Family, and he's like, he reminds you that there are tie-ins, and each tie-in gets its own panel.
Yep.
Where it's like, these are the things to allow us to cut to the chase and get us to the end, which is next issue.
And if you want to read it, it's over there. Go ahead.
Knock yourself out.
Don't need
Absolutely don't need it. You only need to see 3 pages of this book because Jimenez knocks it out of the park at least 3 times in this issue.
A lot of it, this art is really good, and there are a couple of panels in here where it's just like, I get it, man.
Yeah, there's an image of Batman standing over like a precipice, and it's
dope.
It's so good looking. There's a lot of great looking imagery in this issue. Across the board. I don't want to diminish it in any way. There are a bunch of things that look great.
The fact is, like, artists at times, like, you're rushed, you know, they gotta, you gotta get some things out there, you gotta, whatever, and it's like, there's just one image, and I was like, okay, come on.
Yes.
Come on.
Right.
There's some other things where I was like, all right, it doesn't matter, whatever. There's just one, and it's so tiny, and it's so inconsequential, and then it's followed up by 2 gorgeous pages, so you immediately forget it.
Yes.
It's literally this. It's so dumb, but like, if you look at it, like, what's going on with the Riddler? What's going on with the Riddler's face? I don't understand it. He's like, it's like he's simultaneously looking up, but not at all, because it's like he's completely standing, so you'd be looking down on him, but it's like his chin, I don't know.
It's jutting out.
It was just weird, and I know it was just like, it was a tiny panel, and who cares, but like, it caught my eye, and I couldn't stop looking at it, and then literally go to the next page, and it's stunning, and you're like,
yeah, that next page, like, that was the page where I was like, oh, right. Because, like, okay, so I'm sick of Joker, and I'm sick of this story. Every issue has been well written. Every character's been in character.
Yes.
We've played on the history in a really nice way. Tynan the Fourth does a really excellent job of creating a history between Riddler, Penguin, and Catwoman, because you're like, oh, right, outside of Two-Face and Joker, these are kind of the main Batman villains. And to see them have a history and to go and, like, have their own kind of, like, Bat villain trinity, I love that concept. And I love that execution, and I think it's brilliant. The way that he just brings back Dick Grayson, it was already brought back, but he's like, he's Dick, whatever, moving on. We got a beautiful image of, like, the Nightwing costume. Like, we're getting it. I don't care about Joker anymore. More importantly, I remember when Snyder indicated that Joker might know who Batman was.
Yeah.
And in fact, I think it was at the end of whatever arc, Joker, a death of the family, where Bruce Wayne goes to Joker, and he's like, I know you know who I am, and he doesn't acknowledge him as this kind of, like, it's not even that Joker's, like, annoyed at Batman for, like, ruining the game, but more like he doesn't even you're not wearing the suit, I don't even know who you are. Like, I may know who you are, but that doesn't matter to me.
Right.
And I like that element, but, like, we've seen this, and in Tech 1027, we see also references to Joker knowing who Batman is. In this issue particularly. So we know now, especially, we've known throughout this whole arc, that Joker knows who Batman is.
Yeah.
And we see the fallout of it in terms of Joker, manipulating events and characters to get his fortune, to finance this thing he's doing. And for me, the payoff isn't worth it. But moreover, we have been robbed of the revelation. We never get an issue where the Joker finds out. And for me, that's the most fun of any identity reveal. The image of Spider-Man taking his mask off, maybe it ruined Spider-Man until one more day, like, undid it. But you got a lot of story potential out of it, and that image of Spider-Man taking his mask off in front of the cameras and J. Jonah Jameson fainting, it's the payoff.
Yeah.
And then you get fallout from it. There are 1,000 examples just like that. We don't get an image of the Joker finding out or revealing he already knew.
Right.
We don't get that. And we've never gotten it.
For me, I come from a standpoint of, like, it doesn't bother me at all.
Right.
And here's why.
Okay.
Because I'm like, I love that, like, for the Joker, like, yes, he's making it all about that in a
Yeah.
way, but he's like making it about like the journey of Batman.
Mhm.
But like, I love the idea that like it doesn't matter how he found out; he's just known, and he's just been playing the game. Like, you know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
so out of his mind.
Absolutely.
That like he easily could attack Bruce Wayne. He easily could do whatever.
Yes.
But he doesn't.
Right.
Like, there's just something so crazy about him.
Yes.
And like he's so in love with the game
Mhm.
and like almost preserving it and him.
Yes.
That like I'm like I don't think Joker wants a reveal.
No.
And so if Joker doesn't get the reveal, we don't get it.
Right.
I don't know.
That's too bad.
It doesn't bother me.
Instead, so yeah, essentially, so Batman goes to face the Joker. The Joker, of course, has like a magic toxin that brings back the dead and makes them into loyal zombies.
Yes.
So like you've had this reminder of Alfred the whole time, and yet I was like surprised.
I was too. I thought it was something else.
Yeah, thought it was his parents.
I thought it was his parents. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's so fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not them.
Oh, it's Alfred. Oh, I guess I should have saw that coming. Like, and that's the thing where it's like Alfred, I was like, I've been seeing Alfred's dead body the
Yeah.
whole arc.
Yep.
So him like being revealed,
Yep.
you know, they were like, this is the moment. And it's
Yep.
like, you literally showed me Alfred's neck cracking like 4 different times in this arc.
Uh-huh.
Seeing it happen for real this time,
Yeah.
like, you know, okay. I mean, and it was cool. Admittedly, it was fine and it worked. And yet. But yeah, like, for me, these 2 pages are just magic.
Yeah, the one of them's a cover,
One of them's a cover.
and it's cool to see it in a book.
Yep.
The other one's just this is a sweet page. This is
It's just a beautiful page.
baller page.
It's just Batman arriving at Ace Chemicals. So great. Love the shadow, the motion of the cape,
Yep.
the everything. Everything about this was magic.
Yep.
The next page, the reveal of Batman. Again,
That's a cover for me.
it's a cover.
It's a cover or a poster. It's gorgeous, and it completely makes up for the Riddler's bizarro.
Yep. Also, I hate the Riddler's new costume, which is like a throwback costume, where it's like the grid. Get rid of the grid. Doesn't work.
Like nobody
It's
cares
horrible.
about the Riddler. They've established that.
I love the Riddler, and I'm so
I
sick
just
of.
meant the writers.
Yes, I know, and we love the Riddler, and I'm still
Yeah.
waiting for a great Riddler story.
Yes, I really like Harley
Harley,
in this
yes.
quite a bit. Like, you know, like she's part of the Bat family. and,
Kinda.
Like, well, she's there and she gets a credit, and I
She
think
gets to
that's
be there,
cute.
yeah.
And like, she's like, and I'm going with you, and they're like
No,
the
you're
Bat
not.
family's like, no, you're not.
Mhm.
No, that's not how it works. She goes anyway, and like basically she's like, you have to kill him.
Yeah, well, because
And if you and I know you're not into that, so I'll do it.
right, just
I'll
let me
kill
do
him.
it, and he's like, no, and I love it because then she's like, well, how about this? When he kills you,
Yeah.
I get to kill him.
Then I'm gonna kill him. Or if like I feel like he's going to like take down the city, I'm going to take my shot.
Yeah, and Batman's like, no,
Yeah.
and I like how obstinate he is. How he's like, it's not gonna happen.
That's not how it works.
And but she meta textually is like, the story has to end in a different way.
Yes.
It can't end like it always does.
Yep.
Because everyone's been bitching on Twitter about how they've seen this Joker story 1,000 times and like, why should I care about this one?
Right.
And I'm like, fair enough,
Yeah.
but they will kill the Joker at the end of this because Tynan invented a magical resurrection gas.
But you're not a person.
But are you though?
Well, if he dies, then Punchline will just resurrect him and have like a weird
Like marionette Joker.
Yeah.
Or, well, hey, listen, you know what? Sure, we've got 2 other Jokers. Or
Yeah.
3,
Or
or
not,
10.
depending on if it's in continuity or not.
Whatever.
But regardless, what I liked
They have a
about
fun
it
back and forth.
was like with this Harley Quinn like checking in with her like cogency, where she's
Yes.
just like, no,
Yeah.
this
This has to stop.
this is a pattern, and like almost not that she says this, and I'm glad she doesn't, but it's just like you keep doing the same thing expecting a different outcome,
Right.
or at least I don't know if you're expecting a different outcome anymore.
Yeah.
But it's like that's insane.
Yes. You keep...
That's insane.
Yeah. That's right.
Like
That's right.
it's really cool. We get like a really horrific image of Alfred.
Which is admittedly horrific. It's excellently rendered. I love it.
I don't like you got the neck snap. It's like it's unsettling.
Yep.
We've seen it in his nightmares. His nightmares have now come to life, essentially.
Right. So that's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. And then we get the last page reveal, and I can't wait to hear what you think about that. Which is that Joker took Alfred's vision of a brighter future Batman costume and like perverted it and wore it, and I'm sure again like a bunch of YouTubers made a bunch of money off of like being like Joker becomes Batman. But for me, this is a thing that like I never like I don't think Joker wants to be Batman. I don't think Joker like is interesting as like a perverted Batman. I remember there was like a Funko Pop of like Jokerized versions of Batman that came out a few years ago, and I was like, this is dumb.
Well,
And like seeing Joker wearing a bat suit is something that not only did I never expect to see, but I never wanted or cared about, and I don't find it interesting now.
so why would you say that when you know that Tynion worked with Snyder as like a protege, and Snyder made the Batman Who Laughs, which is a Batman who became
the
Joker. So
why not? How about in this we get Joker who becomes a Batman?
and we have kind of seen like the Joker suits before as like skins for other things,
Right,
or
exactly.
whatever.
But okay, so that
The Joker
that
who
aside,
flaps.
yeah, the Joker who flaps. If you actually break it down, Joker has taken Alfred's vision of Batman's future and perverted it.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. That's juicy writing.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm 100% fine with where this is going.
Yeah.
The images, I know they were like, yeah, and for me, I'm like, yeah, okay,
yeah.
all right,
Well,
Batman
remember-
fighting another Batman. All right.
remember we were talking about before about how like it's seemingly, other than the whole parent thing, but like it's seemingly like Joker is setting up like things to like mirror Batman. He has Punchline,
Yeah,
who's like his Catwoman
Mhm.
allegory right now, or his like is that allegory?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And like he's taken his millions and like he's destroyed the city with it
as
instead.
opposed to improving it. Yeah,
It's almost like he's showing he's like, no, anyone could do what you do.
right. But look at me, and yeah,
This isn't what makes you you.
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I don't know. Like so like I was like fine whatever. Like one way or the other, like, you know, I'm more interested to see where the story is going than the action figure we're gonna get out of this.
Well, we're gonna get an action figure. We're gonna get a statue. Well, Tynan is a marketing genius because we are getting action figures and statues of Punchline, Jokerized Batman, the Clown Killer, whatever this Rick Grayson costume is. I think that's also someplace else, but like whatever. But at least 3 different characters.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, and the designer.
Yeah, Punchline's honestly kind of grown on me, just
Yeah.
because like having Harley in this really helped.
Yes. Yeah, which is funny because you think it'd be exploitative, where
Well-
it's like, let's have both our cakes.
Well, especially when she says to him, like when like part of the reason she wants to get rid of like Joker, like when she's talking to Batman, isn't just because like to save Gotham and to stop his like chaos. That's all part of it. But she's like, how many more punchlines will he make? And I was like, that's like so like she's just like, nope. Like that like I love that they didn't take Harley in like that sort of like, oh, I can't believe he like replaced me like in that way. Like she's like not only she's so over him, like she's concerned about the future of other impressionable individuals under the Joker.
Which is actually really cool.
Yeah, I was like, that's neat. This is like has a lot of like cool character moments for people. The art's pretty strong. A lot of times those like images, like those 2 specific splash images are so great.
For me, there are a couple of images in this that are similar. Like there is so much good.
That doesn't matter. Like the bad doesn't even matter, and like who cares? It was just for me. It was funny. I was like, because that page in particular, it's like 3 panels, and each panel gets less detailed until it's like, what the hell happened?
Because he had to do that double page splash of like all of Gotham being wrecked that I like couldn't care less about, and I feel bad because like it's just this. I technically appreciated what was done. It's an image of Gotham burning, and it's superimposed with all the things that are going wrong.
Yeah.
You got the clowns doing graffiti. You got, like, rioters in the streets. You know, you got all this stuff. You got Joker narrating the whole thing as he's being driven through the city that he's created or redesigned. And it's just... And it's not hackneyed. It's not cheap. It's not... It clearly took a long time to make.
Yep.
A lot of work went into it, and I just couldn't care less. I don't know why. It's like that line that I hate to use it, but it's like that scene from the review of Aquaman from Red Letter Media where they're like, they must have spent a lot of time and money to create a scene that I closed my eyes during. And it was the freaking war with like the Atlanteans and stuff. Like that's how I felt about
with
this
the Kraken.
page. Yeah, with the Kraken, with like just like everything's happening, and they're like, "This was a lot of money," and it's like, who cares? Like at the end of the day, it's about Aquaman. Like for me, I was like, I don't like. I get it. The city is not in a good place right now.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna give us this, like I feel bad because this is not. I'm not appreciating how great this is.
Right.
Because it is great. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's so great and it's so bombastic. And
Yep.
there's, like, the image of Joker in shadow, that panel I actually like more, where it's just Joker in the car.
It's like his reflection on the glass.
Yeah, and you get like this beautiful, like, the lighting, and it's just everything about this is so expertly done. And it's like, where did this friggin' guy come from with this stuff you've never seen before? Like, way to go.
Yeah.
You know, great stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay. But like at the end of the day, you know, I'm like, I don't really care about any of this. Like Joker in a limo, and he's like, "You made it to my specifications," and I'm like, I don't really care about that.
Well, but I do like the fact that it has all the Haas on it, and
Yeah.
he's just like, it's ridiculous looking.
Yeah,
Like he's just
right.
like, it's stupid.
He acknowledges how stupid that
he's
is.
like, it's perfect.
What do you think? A bunch of Haas?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bunch
cool.
of Haas on it. Sure.
Mhm. Yeah, no, yeah, they also make a joke about Bendis changing Red Robin.
Yeah. Harley calls him Duck Man.
Duck Boy.
Duck Boy.
He's like, Duck Boy. And it's like, oh no, that happened in Bendis' book. We don't have to acknowledge that. That was fun.
Yeah.
It was a good issue. It was a great penultimate issue.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see where 100 issue goes.
Sure.
Maybe my fatigue is just like there's too much goddamn Batman.
Just a lot of Batman.
It's just too much. And it's like when you do everything, it's like
Don't let DC hear you say that.
right.
It's never too much Batman. There's
No.
literally a Batman right next to my face.
My wall has too much Batman. Like, so someone made that. Work went into that one. And before we even had 50,000 subscribers, we bought that big Batman thing.
Yeah, I bought that.
You did. When we had nothing. When we had no money, you bought that. But anyway, yeah, it's a great issue.
Yeah, it was.
A lot of great character moments,
Solid.
and like, yeah, regardless of like my true honest feelings about like some random like initial gut reactions, technically, it's a triumph.
It is. No, it is. It's like
an achievement.
Yeah.
Because how many characters are in this book, and how many of them all act great and give you something? Selena gives you something. The Penguin gives you something. Clown Hunter's in there.
Yep.
Clown Kill, I don't know what the hell his stupid name is. Who cares? But like Batman, Harley, Punchline, Joker, Alfred, like this.
Tynan can,
oh, the whole Bat family.
Tynan can like manage a crew.
He really does.
Like he's just really like he does that nicely.
And it doesn't feel like 6 different books.
No.
Or like that it's too much.
No, he does a really good job.
Really does. This issue was very quick to read.
Yeah.
It was such a breeze.
It was good.
Justin Buford says, hey guys, can't watch this live today. I just wanted to say thanks for so many great reads that I wouldn't have otherwise picked up.
Aww.
I just read the first volume of Meltzer's JLA and Batman Damned. So good.
Yay!
Thank you, Justin. Yeah, man, every time Batman Damned comes up, someone's like, I hate that book! And I'm just like, I don't understand why you need to tell me how much you hate it.
Like everyone had like Untitled, like I
know, but
liked
there's
it.
something about it where it's like, I gotta tell you I hate it. And it's like, okay, cool. It's still great.
That's all right, but like to them, they're like, why do you say that you like it? You know,
right?
I get
yeah,
it. I get it.
Exactly. But thank you,
don't
man.
have to like it.
Yeah,
I'm glad that people are trying it.
Right.
Like I've got stock in it.
Right, exactly. We don't.
I get no kickbacks.
No, it's too bad because we've championed that book more than DC ever did. The Gray Initiate says, just dropping by before I sleep. I started a new overnight job last week and my schedule's whack.
Ooh, yeah.
Thanks for helping me relax and keep it up. Thank you, Gray.
Thank you. Good luck with that.
Good luck, man.
Seriously.
We know somebody who has a horrible schedule as well. And it's rough.
It is rough.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah, listen to your body too. It might tell you this is not working out.
Yeah. Ryan Craig, if Joker was gone for 10 years, who do you guys think Batman's main nemesis should be? Feels like it has been him for a while besides Bane in King's Run. Bane would have been a great idea if like Bane was a great idea, and I think King wasn't able to stick the landing with making Bane, like with legitimizing Bane. Two-Face would be a great one. Riddler would be a great one. 0 Year is Riddler's
but like
biggest story.
as a main antagonist, I think they would like lean back. They'd like find a way to make Raish work.
Yeah, why not?
Whatever.
It's Raish.
You know what I mean?
But yeah,
but like someone like that. Like
yeah,
someone...
Raish would be great.
Yeah.
League of Shadows, like that kind of thing.
Probably. It depends.
Well, he is, but
no, I know, but I meant like I'm saying I'm like agreeing and not agreeing with myself.
Right? Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
maybe Two-Face, because Two-Face you can get the supervillainy, you can get the personal stakes, and you get the organized crime.
Yeah.
So you could actually do a couple of things. You could make him like you could keep Jokering him up, where it's like you do a big Two-Face story, and then like you do a master planner where like Batman's dealing with organized crime. There's this new crime boss, and then it's revealed that it's friggin' Two-Face. It's like, oh, Two-Face again.
I was going to say it's whoever the writer wants to invent.
Yeah, of course, because that's how it always goes.
The Phantasm.
Phantasm has not been used, and I think King said he wanted to use Phantasm in his run, and I'm shocked that we didn't get there. Somebody mentioned Scarecrow. I'd love to see Scarecrow actually used properly.
Well, yeah, it's the Arkham games.
Yeah. Yeah. But Detective Comics 1027 came out. There's no time. We've done a 2-hour show.
Has it really been 2 hours?
Yeah. So
holy crap!
What I think we should do is talk about what our favorite stories were
I
from
thought you
it.
would just say like the title and would say like
Okay.
one or two positive things about it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Just go from there. You don't have to. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Okay. Blowback. Peter J. Tomasi with Brad Walker on pencils. I loved the art. I thought the story was fine.
Okay, I didn't like the art, and I thought the story read more like a poem.
It did.
And I thought that was kind of cool if it had been
cool.
illustrated differently.
I agree with
Because
that.
it definitely read like a poem.
But I did really like Brad Walker's pencils. It was great to see.
I was not a fan.
The Masterclass. Brian Michael Bendis on writing with David Marquez on art. I loved this.
I loved the art for sure. I thought Bendis got a little quippy sometimes, but like cute idea. A cute, fun story.
I didn't know it was Bendis until like
a
couple of pages in.
Yeah, no, for sure. It was the way they're all like,
The
snappy dialogue.
Yeah, but
snappy.
I was like, everyone's kind of writing snappy now.
Yeah,
but this is true to form Bendis. This is what people want.
Yeah, from Bendis for sure. But like, if you just want something lighthearted and fun, that's the story to read.
Yep.
In there.
Many Happy Returns by Matt Fraction with Chip Zdarsky on art and colors.
I didn't read it.
I hated it.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I wanted to like it a lot.
There you go.
And I saw what they were going with it. Rookie from Greg Rucka with art by Eduardo Risso.
Skipped.
I don't remember this.
Okay.
I did read it though.
Okay.
Oh, I did. I kind of liked. Oh no, I did. I really liked it, and you would too.
Okay.
Yeah, I loved this one. You would.
I had limited time today, so
Yeah.
I really picked ones I thought you'd want to maybe talk about.
Right,
and
right.
we ran out of time anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I loved it. You would too.
Okay.
Ghost Story, James Tynion IV with art by Riley Rossimo.
You know I read this one.
Yep.
Cute, fun story. Art. I like seeing Riley Rossimo's art. I'm glad they're not on a main Batman book.
Me too.
But like, it's fun in these vignettes.
Yes.
Like this is it's just fun. It's a fun little experiment.
I thought it was cute too.
Yeah.
It was cute, and I wanted to skip it. Halfway through, I'm like, okay.
I was in. I was like, fine, whatever. It's just a cute.
The ending, I was like, earned.
Yeah, well, I like it's Tynion telling the story, and so like sure the dead man stuff's a little like like
it's a little silly,
it's
but
a little
whatever.
over the head and
I'll
silly,
take it.
But the Bruce and Martha stuff, yeah,
Yeah.
I said the name. That's her name.
That's her name. Don't ruin it. Don't let fucking those people ruin that movie
That's just
or
her
that name.
But yeah, so like I thought that was fun.
4.
Did not read
Kelly Sue DeConnick with John Romita Jr. on pencils. It was fine.
it. Okay, I didn't read that one, and I didn't read Odyssey.
Yeah, no, that was fine. It was a solid story. I pretty much enjoyed it.
All right.
Gift from Mariko Tamaki with art by Dan Mora.
You know I read this.
Of course. Dan
Writing
Mora.
the story was fine. The art was the reason to read it.
Yes, I agree with that.
I think Mariko is a talented writer. I just didn't really connect with this one too much because it's tied into the Joker War too.
Yes.
But like the art, oh my god.
Yeah.
It's Dan Mora, man. I love Dan Mora.
Yeah, I really enjoyed A Gift.
Really?
Yes.
I just the
I
writing
didn't
just
love it, but I was like,
connect with me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Odyssey by Marv Wolfman with art by Emmanuel Lupacino.
I didn't read it, but Sinkovich did inks.
And yes, I think I really like this one. I'm trying to remember.
It had it seemed like the art like kind of like evolved throughout the story. It had like an older school vibe to it.
Yes. Oh yeah. I know I enjoyed
There was like
this
a blonde guy with a gauntlet of some
one.
kind.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll read this later.
Yeah. Detective number 26 from Grant Morrison and Chris Burnham. I thought it was funny.
Okay, yeah. The first few pages, I was like, oh, is Grant Morrison just like making fun of Batman? And then I was like, oh, this is like a writer's room joke.
Yeah.
This is like a Grant Morrison winking at the camera. It's really funny.
Yes.
It is legitimately funny. One of the characters he mentions was actually in Detective 26.
Yes. Detective 26 is what it's called.
Detective Comics 26.
Yeah.
But he was actually in that.
Right, that issue.
Not the character he creates.
No.
This was just funny. I was like, okay, Grant.
Yep. Legacy from Tom King with art by Walt Simonson.
Art was fun. I didn't give a shit about this story.
I was not a fan.
Okay.
I
cursed. That's how much I didn't care.
Yeah, I could not care less. I was sad that this was the thing Walt Simonson was asked to draw.
But like the glowing skeleton man looked dope.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Oh no, and I appreciated it. I was like, oh, I see. I liked the end.
I liked the message.
The message
but
was
like
cool.
but
I was like, ugh.
it went on too long.
Yeah, of course it did.
The message was fine. I just didn't care.
Yeah. Generations Fractured. People were talking a lot about this because it was like, oh, this is part of 5G.
I actually didn't read this one. I should have. I read the one above it.
Written and drawn by Dan Jurgens. This is fun. It's just kind of fun, and it was cool that like we got to see Dan Jurgens like try multiple styles.
Dan Jurgens and Kevin
Nolan on finished art.
Finished their arts.
Yeah, that's right. Really cool.
Okay.
It was a cool.
I want to go back and read the rest of these. I've done that before, but it was like I had to pick and choose.
It was literally like they go back in time and they're like, "Hey, Batman from Detective 27, we need you to come with us." And he's like, "What?" But like we see this fracturing and like we see like all these different versions of Batman.
Yeah.
It was like, the art was really cool.
Okay.
And as always, by Scott Snyder with art by Ivan Rice.
That was my favorite one.
It was perfection.
It was really good.
I loved it. I texted Scott Snyder about it.
Sometimes
I interrupted his day.
Sometimes I forget that Snyder loves Commissioner Gordon. And like I appreciate that so much. Like, because I also like Commissioner Gordon.
Because I too like Commissioner Gordon.
Because I too like Commissioner Gordon. Yeah, that was my favorite.
Yep, it was my favorite.
But like, I think it was my favorite because it was Snyder condensed.
Yeah.
Condensed Snyder.
Yeah. I as always, indeed. I was like, that was great.
Yeah, it was good.
It was fun and it was silly and it worked. It was just.
It was. I loved it so much. I will say, Detective 26 was more memorable.
Yeah.
Because of how.
Because of like what the hell.
Because of that Kaiser Sose moment.
Yes.
At the end for him.
It was so great.
I'm not saying it was better. That was just more memorable.
Yeah, I agree. Super Pooper, I liked Bendis' story, but why is everyone so chummy next to a dead body? That was a bit weird for me. Yeah, I thought it was fake.
I thought it was fake too. I thought
Batman was gonna be like, bye. But no. Yeah, no, I agree. Well, because they see it so many times.
Yep.
They're all damaged people.
I did love the Detective Dungeon thing, being like, how did no one tell me about it? How do I not know this person exists? I would definitely remember.
Yeah, I would remember a Detective Dungeon. Are you kidding me? That was fun. I really enjoyed that. So let's jump into some recommendations of books that are coming out this week. We think you should check out. Some of them come out tomorrow. Ooh, of all things. Right. For example, Dark Knight's Death Metal Speed Metal #1. I believe it's a one-shot. Is coming out from Josh Williamson and Eddie Barrows and Eber Ferreira and Howard Porter doing the cover art. Nice. This is just what are the Flash is all up to. Running. They are running. Running from the darkest night. I'm gonna check this out. I hear it matters. They should have had. I'm glad they didn't because it would have been so stupid. I'm glad Howard Porter didn't do this, but they should have had because there he's not the darkest night. No, he's not. He's the Batman who laughs. But they should have had him doing the horns. The horns, yeah. Like he's got his. Yeah, I'm shocked they didn't do that. I'm glad they didn't. Yeah, but I'll check this out. Sure. Sounds fun. Hey, do you remember when J.J. Abrams and his son were working on a Spider-Man? I thought that was over because we haven't talked about it in a while. Yeah, it's over for me. Right. Okay. Don't buy this. I like Sarah Pichelli though. I do like. I feel so bad because I hope Sarah Pichelli is done with this book so she can go do books that I'm gonna read. Hey, look, she's getting the experience drawing some more Spider-Man. Yeah, so that's cool. Whatever. Yeah. Hey, remember when I said that Christopher Cantwell was working on that Doctor Doom book? Well, yeah. Doctor Doom #7 comes out. Nice. Check it out. That's it. That's it. It's a fun book. Okay. Salvador Larroca draws it, so like, you know, it's got that symbiote Spider-Man feel to it, if you know what I'm talking about. Okay. But it's still pretty good. Immortal She-Hulk #1, which I believe is a one-shot, is coming out. I'm gonna read this. I'm not a fan of the cover. I am not either, but like I think we're not supposed to be. John Davis Hunt draws it. Holy crap! Hooray! I'm so glad they scored him. Nice. That's John Davis Hunt is awesome. Okay. And Al Ewing, of course. That's fine. I think it's a one-shot. Check it out. Batman the Max Arkham Dreams The Lost Year Compendium is coming out. This is not issue 5 and 4. This is a compendium that reminds you that there is a book called Batman the Max Arkham Dreams, and I guess Sam Keith is finished with it finally. This collects the first 3 issues to remind you that this book existed. And now 4 and 5 are going to come out soon. That's it. I can't believe they're doing that. I would not recommend buying it. Go into your dollar bins and pick up issues 1 through 3. If you're interested in Batman the Max. Lord knows I am. Daredevil 22 comes out from Chip Zdarsky with Francesco Mobili on interiors.
Okay.
This is, I think, the first non-Chicheto.
I was gonna say, whoa, where'd Marco go?
Yeah, he's doing the covers.
That's not enough.
I know. But it's Zdarsky's Daredevil, which is excellent.
Is that the Iron Daredevil?
It's Iron. Yeah, I don't know what the hell it's about, but I can't wait to read it. I saw this cover like at least 2 other times, and I'm like, ooh, I want to see what that's all about.
All right.
So I can't wait. That sounds great. Like, yay! So that comes out on Wednesday.
Nice.
And speaking of Wednesdays, if you're like interested in checking out Daredevil and Zdarsky's run on it, you should pay attention to this channel on Wednesday.
Oh.
Wait,
you make a liar out of me.
Why?
What I said.
What did you say?
On Twitter.
Oh, on Twitter, what'd you say?
I said we covered that Mephisto miniseries.
Yeah, the Mephisto miniseries. Remember that book? Because I said give the devil his due. Anyway, what do you have?
I have I was gonna go. Okay, yeah, let's start there. X of Swords Creation #1 is coming out.
Woo.
I'm in part 1 of 22.
Fuck you.
Written by Jonathan Hickman for story and writer, and Teenie Howard for writer, who's working on Excalibur.
So if you're like, what's happening? Go back and watch our Excalibur episode.
Yeah, with
of the
art
Heck
by
Issues.
Pepe Larraz.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
I'm in. I hope I'm in. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Hope I'm in.
Speaking of being in.
Justice League Dark #26 is coming out. In the jaws of defeat, we've been dealing with the Upside Down Man. Let's do this.
Yeah.
What will happen after this? Please don't cancel this book.
Dear DC, I know you've probably already canceled it.
So do it. With art by Ram V, or with writing by Ram V and art by, I always butcher this, Aman K. Nihulpan. I'm so sorry to the artist.
But yeah,
bad.
But it's a good series.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a stand-up series, and like honestly, Ram V really upped his game, and I'm like, okay, yes, I was like I've said before, I wasn't originally a big fan of his takeover of the series, but I'm in. The art's great. It's got a really cool feel. It's like a vibe I've not seen before, and I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the show.
That's
we want to
it.
thank you so much for hanging out with us.
For like, you guys are in for the long haul.
Yeah, thank you so much for so many of you for hanging out with us and sticking with us. Before you do go, follow us on twitch.tv/ComicPop to watch her play video games Tuesdays and Sundays.
Yeah.
You're wrapping up Avengers.
Yeah, apparently we have one more mission left.
It was a fast game.
I know. But that's okay. It's going to work out really well because we're hitting October.
Yeah. I don't know what that means.
I want to
follow to find out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, you can tell them.
No, it's okay.
All right. We want to thank you so much for hanging out with us. And before you go, we would like to encourage you to subscribe. We are hoping to get to 100,000 subscribers at some point in the near future. I have a big plan for this channel that's coming up. I actually wrote it on the whiteboard hoping that Tiffany would see it, but she didn't. And so when she leaves, she's going to see it. And it's like a lot of things.
I saw one thing and I was like, what is he talking about?
And there's a lot of things. And so we're hoping to roll those out before, so that when we hit 2021, we can like hit the ground running with a lot of these things. And one of those things I'd like to try is getting to 100,000 subscribers. I don't think we're going to, but like it'd be nice to have a goal. I think it's important for everybody to have a goal that's right outside your grasp to try and like achieve that. So if you haven't already subscribed, my point is hit the subscribe button, because you won't get notifications. So it won't even be like you subscribe. It won't even be like a burden. Just hit the subscribe button anyway. But if you do want some notifications, hit the bell and then give them your driver's license and your social security number and like your firstborn child.
Yeah.
And then like do a backflip.
Yeah.
But like
you might have to sacrifice your marriage.
We don't know. Yeah. I mean, but you know what that translates into sales somehow. But
we haven't quite figured that out, but it has something to do with the algorithm.
That's right. Yeah. But so do subscribe if you haven't already. We would truly appreciate it, and it's the best way to help us out is subscribe, and of course like the videos that you do like. If you know, or if you're just throwing likes out, why not give us one too? Austin F says, "Hey guys, just popping in and say love your stuff. What title do you think deserves the Hickman treatment? Catch you on the rewatch." Thank you very much, Austin F. Maybe Iron Man.
I got one.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Ready? Ghost Rider.
Yes. Forget it. It's a good idea.
He left. Austin F says, "Hey guys, just popping in to say love your stuff." Oh, that's right. You already did that. I'm ending the show. Don't come back. I'm ending it by myself. I can do it. I'm a big girl. I don't know how to do it. Is it this?
Yeah, it's that.
Oh, I was gonna redo the thing. I guess I don't know. Bye,
All right.
guys.
Thank you, everybody. So long.
Did I do it?
Nope.